DeSoto Auto Sales specializes in late model cars with low mileage. They have the highest standards in the car industry. All of their cars are test-driven, checked out from head to toe, unlimited inventory, every make and model. And if it's not on the lot, they'll find it for you. Walk in the door of DeSoto Auto Sales, 5704 Goodman Road. Within 45 minutes, you can test your car, get credit approval, and finish paperwork within an hour. No shortcuts at DeSoto Auto Sales. Kind, courteous employees, a down-home environment. DeSoto Auto Sales cares about your time. Lowest prices in a 350-mile radius. We're living in a world today where time does matter. Visit them online. Check out their referrals. DeSotoAutosales.com. Very proud to serve DeSoto County and other surrounding areas. DeSoto Auto Sales, 5704 Goodman Road. Call 662-890-7184. 662-890-7184. Come on down to DeSoto Auto Sales.
We are real sports talk. Sports 56, 96.1, and 87.7. Available on your radio dial at 560 AM, 96.1, and 87.7 FM. As well as online around the world at sports56whbq.com. Take us with you everywhere on your phone or tablet by downloading the Sports 56 app. And at home, tell Alexa or Google to play Sports 56. If it's happening in the world of sports, we've got it covered. Wherever you are, stay tuned to real sports talk. Sports 56, 96.1, and 87.7. We are Sports 56, WHBQ Memphis, WIVG-FM Tunica Memphis, and WPG-FLP Memphis. Flynn Broadcasting Stations. It's time for Sports Time with Wolo and Stacks. The first hour of Sports Time is brought to you by Lexus of Memphis. Here are your hosts, the voice of the Tigers, Dave Woloshin, and Brett Stotts Norsworthy.
Welcome in. Good Monday to you. Another scorcher outside. Of course, there's really a scorcher in here. We have so many things to discuss between college football and baseball and the NFL. Yesterday was amazing. Again, man, I hate it that the officiating is so uneven in America's most watched league. It is distressing to me. The Saints absolutely got ripped again. There were bad calls in the Bears-Broncos games, both sides, that really did have an impact, I think, on the ending of the game. And the NFL tried. They did this new thing with replay for pass interference, and that is blown up in their face. Whatever they're doing, they just can't seem to get it right.
Dave, the strive for perfection has left it more imperfect.
It has. I've always been for if you could technologically right the wrong, do it, but apparently we can't seem to do it correctly.
When it first came online, I thought we were going to just do the big stuff. Feed it. Was his foot in bounds? Did it cross the goal line? Was there a second left? And now we are to the myopic of the myopic. And I think if you slow it down to, 50 times the resolution and you look at it enough times, you can see just about anything. I would so love we just went back to nothing, even inbounds.
Well, we're never going to do that.
Never.
And I never thought that I would.
Now we have a cottage industry.
But now it's so bad that we can't get it right. You know who does it right, though? Tennis.
Tennis is at the forefront.
Tennis does it right. And I will tell you, I think baseball does some things right, too. Baseball, the umpires originally were totally against the replay. They viewed it as the enemy. Now they treat it, and they're smart about it, like it's their friend.
Well, it's their safety valve, and it's the only thing left on the field that they really, really call is balls and strikes. Everything else is pretty much up for grabs.
Well, and sometimes a crew that's on the field doesn't help themselves with stuff that is occurring, or that could be righted by replay, and that's exactly what happened in the New Orleans and the Rams game yesterday. Was that is clearly a fumble. They blew it as an incomplete pass. I think you've got to be careful. Let it play out, and then you can go to replay to.
And it changed the tenor of the game.
Oh, it absolutely changed the tenor of the game, and now that's 2 times in a row This one not as important, obviously, as the NFC Championship, but 2 times in a row now in an important game between possibly the 2 best teams in the NFC, the Rams have gotten a huge benefit of the doubt.
Saints have gotten a shaft.
Honestly.
But I don't think it's a conspiracy.
With Drew Brees.
Do you think it's
no, I do not think it's a conspiracy.
I don't think it goes to Park Avenue trying to do the Saints.
I think it's just damn unlucky.
It is, and on the heels of, and it's why I thought Roger Goodell should have turned in his resignation after Bountygate. When you go to the mat like that and you don't have the goods, I think you're a little boy crying wolf after that, and the Saints fans will never forgive for Bountygate and the accusations and innuendo that largely not corroborated. So then on the heels of that, he has no standing with that franchise and with a lot of people after he did not have the goods.
Well, bottom line is they've been jobbed the last 2 games. But
they have been.
I don't know, honestly, with the loss of Drew Brees, would they have been able to keep up with the Rams?
But
we'll never know that.
We'll never know. I do know they were going to win the NFC Championship game. But I also know
they would have. If the call had been correct, they would have.
What was Sean Payton doing on the play calling before that?
I don't know. I don't know.
Saints, your Super Bowl pick, right?
Yeah.
Drew, your pick too.
Yep.
Ouchie.
I'd say with Drew Brees gone, that pick's out the window. The same thing with Roethlisberger.
6 weeks
Pittsburgh's
out for
got
Drew
no
Brees.
hope without Big Ben.
Oh, it's really changing times in Pittsburgh, and it could really go off the rails for them. The rest of the Saints' schedule. You want to give me wins and losses now? You ready?
Mm-hmm.
At Seattle without Drew Brees.
Loss.
Home versus Dallas.
And Seattle's better than I thought they were going to be.
Home versus Dallas.
Oh, that's
my Cowboys rolling.
No, you're Jags.
Oh, they are rolling.
They're
you don't
rolling.
Think the Cowboys are rolling?
No. I think they are rolling.
Oh, good.
But they
Tampa
are
Bay
from
the
the
Dome.
city of Dallas.
My Cowboys, Tampa Bay at the Dome. I'm trying to shout you down. I'm sorry. It's not a very good start on a Monday.
Well, I can't even think when I'm laughing as loud as I am about your traitorous behavior.
Well, I've been a Cowboy fan all my life, Dave.
No, you've not. You might know Jerry Jones or his son from college. That's about as close to being a Cowboy fan as
And
you've
daughter
ever
and
been.
son-in-law. October 6th, Tampa Bay.
Now they could get them.
Yeah. At Jacksonville.
Teddy Bridgewater just needs playing time. And they got Teddy Bridgewater for one reason, to be the successor. No, to be the successor to Drew Brees.
You trust Teddy Bridgewater?
I think he needs playing time. I don't trust him next week against Seattle. I don't trust him against the Cowboys, but the Buccaneers might be okay.
At Jacksonville.
Oh, your Jaguars?
Never my Jaguars. Never. Never been to Jacksonville to a Jags game in my life.
Drew, would you please go find?
Drew's busy, Dave.
I got time. I can pull the tape.
Yeah,
I'll figure
pull,
out the
Drew,
time.
you're busy.
Pull the tape, please. I think they have a hard time in Jacksonville. It's in Jacksonville, right?
October 20th, Soldier Field. Teddy Bridgewater would be the better quarterback that day.
Anybody can beat the Bears. Hey, let me tell you something.
Trubisky stinks.
Trubisky is awful. And to think that the Bears could have Patrick Mahomes. And I watched him yesterday. He's getting a medal from me.
Could have Deshaun Watson.
I watched him yesterday. I'd rather have Patrick Mahomes. He is incredible. On the run or in the pocket, his throws are either touch or lasers, whatever he wants to do, and he puts them exactly where he wants them. He's amazing. Mitchell Trubisky, I'm afraid that Nagy has totally lost confidence in him. There was a series yesterday that the Bears played 9 straight runs. He called 9 straight runs.
You think that's a lack of confidence in your quarterback?
I believe he has no faith in him. And then Nagy was playing to hold on to a 10-point lead.
But you love my Rookie of the Year pick.
Montgomery's good. He's really good.
My David Montgomery.
If he had a guy who could set up passing to make it easier for him, he'd really be good. Trubisky is awful. Awful, awful, awful.
Now,
and Nagy, I've lost faith in him too.
Then the Saints play Arizona and then the bye. They got to get to that bye week 3-3, 2-4.
If they're 3-3, that's miraculous.
It would be. Because after that, if he's right, how do you know he doesn't come back and get still tender? And
I think
really
I think 6 weeks for a thumb thing. Although who was it that this happened like 2 years ago? He really never came back right from the thumb.
I don't recall, but you knew it was trouble yesterday when he went over and grabbed the ball.
Oh yeah, and then he dropped it. He dropped the ball.
There was no there.
I know. That's when you knew he was done.
And for Big Ben, that's exactly how Terry Bradshaw's career ended, with elbow snapped.
Oh, elbow. Yeah.
Elbow snapped.
Well, that is curious. He's gone for the year. We know that, and that'll be my story of the day. But how old is he now? What did we? 37? Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
He's in the Rivers Eli draft class.
I don't know that he's coming back from that.
I don't either. Terry Bradshaw didn't, and then got retired, and 2 years later thought he had recuperated well enough, went to the Rooneys and said, "Hey, I can go," and they said, "No, thanks, you're done." And that was why they were deeply embittered for a long, long time. And he's still running hot. His jersey is yet to be retired. It's never been issued.
Boy.
It never will be, but he wants the ceremony.
Did you hear him go after Antonio Brown? He basically said, "I hate guys like that. There's no place in the league for a guy that selfish." Woo, man.
It's amazing with Antonio Brown. Since he's gotten to New England, it's less IG account, a lot less Instagram. His feet's fine. His hamstrings are fine. And his helmet fits.
Yeah.
It's amazing, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
That was so choreographed.
I know.
He drove it over the cliff and got his way.
He did, so far. We'll see what happens with the NFL investigation.
Yeah, Terry Bradshaw, he told me one time at a Super Bowl that his last game, it was either against the Jets at Shea, and he said it was the last game played by either the Jets or the Giants in New York City. The Giants had already made the move to New Jersey.
Right.
And the Jets did after that year. It was the last.
So he was the last game in Manhattan?
It wasn't in Manhattan. It was in Queens at Shea.
At Shea?
But that was in New York City. And then they went to the Meadowlands the next year as well, that he said, "I didn't make it there. Snapped my elbow."
When the Giants...
He said he hurt it. He threw the ball.
Well, you could tell. I mean, Big Ben, who's got a pretty good pain threshold, it seems to me. As soon as he let that ball go,
mas.
Oh baby,
yeah,
he knew it was bad. I'm trying to remember. Did the Giants used to play in Yankee Stadium in the '60s?
The Giants played in Yankee Stadium, and for a while, I want to say either they or the Jets played at the Yale Bowl.
Yes, the Jets did. They played at the Yale Bowl,
and of course, the Jets started at a very small stadium in the early days of the AFL, and then went to Shea when it was the new showplace for the Jets and the Mets.
So we're doing a new thing starting today.
At 5:30.
At 5:30, we will bring you, since this is the anniversary, the 30th anniversary. 50th anniversary.
Of Monday Night Football.
50th, really? Man, that's just absolutely amazing to me. I remember, seriously, sitting in my dorm watching Howard Cosell and company on Monday nights when not everybody had their own TV. We did it in the common room of the dorm. And that was the big thing. Oh, we got Monday nights now we can watch football.
They had Monday night games before that, but not a regular package. It would be sporadic games here and there, about 3 a year. But then when they went to the ABC, Roone Arledge, Chet Forty, legendary names.
Right.
With Howard. First year was Cosell, Keith Jackson, Dandy Don. Not even Gifford first year, right?
No. Gifford was not there. That was it. It was Keith Jackson, who they basically shoved out of the booth. Turned out to be the best thing ever happened to him because he became Mr. College Football.
And was really good baseball announcer.
Yeah. Oh, he's really good at it.
Cosell was really good on baseball.
He knew his stuff.
He did.
No question about that. I still think to this day the greatest thing that Cosell ever did was boxing. Nobody's ever matched him.
I agree.
In terms of style for boxing. But 50 years ago, the very first game ever on Monday Night Football was this game tonight, Cleveland and New York, the Jets. And we will pick the greatest four players from each team. It was actually kind of fun doing the research on that today.
It is.
But I'll tell you this much, Cleveland had a lot more to choose from
And it's
the Jets.
But so much of it is kind of the illustration of the Browns' problem. So much of their heyday is really yesteryear.
Well, true. But yesteryear goes back a lot longer than the
There are a lot of
Jets,
yesteryears.
It's like 20, 30 years more history to which you can
the Jets.
choose.
The Jets have really been able to ride Joe Namath, Matt Snell, and Emerson Boozer for a long time.
They have.
It's not much after that.
Don't forget in that grouping.
George Sauer?
No.
Don Maynard?
Don Maynard.
Who was the good defensive back? Johnny Sample? Was a good
but
defensive back.
They were really good on the defensive line.
Larry Grantham?
Because my fourth and my fifth guy who didn't get there, and we'll explain why later, was awfully good too. They had great defensive linemen.
Larry Grantham from Ole Miss, great AFL, NFL linebacker, and in the days of two-way football where you had to stay in, was a really good tight end in college. This hour of the show brought to you every day by Lexus of Memphis, 2600 Ridgeway, and online at lexusofmemphis.com. Call them at 901-362-8833. Lexus of Memphis offering the Golden Opportunity Fall Sales Event, and it will get fall weather eventually. The 2020s have rolled in, all the 2019 models, always special lease options at Lexus of Memphis. If you ever thought I'd look great in a Lexus, well, guess what? Lexus of Memphis thinks you would look great and outstanding in a Lexus as well. Drive in luxury and confidence knowing that every new Lexus comes with complimentary first and second maintenance services. Stop by today at Lexus of Memphis at 2600 Ridgeway and put yourself in the driver's seat of an all-new 2019 or 2020 flagship LS500, and you will be looking great. Lexus of Memphis, the high standards in the industry. When you purchase a Lexus, you get top-of-the-line engineering and design, and that makes for the luxury driving experience. 362-8833, online at lexusofmemphis.com. Experience amazing at Lexus of Memphis.
Top story of the day.
Well, that is the aforementioned two stories here. We know Ben Roethlisberger out for the season. Surgery done on an elbow that snapped. As Brett mentioned, that was the end of another Steeler quarterback named Terry Bradshaw. I hope that is not the case with Ben Roethlisberger. The other part of that story is Drew Brees, who you can see it so clearly on the replay. His hand is going forward. He runs into the hand and I think ends up on the helmet, too, of a Ram. And Brees had to have surgery on his thumb today. He will miss probably 6 weeks of playing time. Those are two huge names. Quarterbacks going down college, SEC. I mean, it's almost an epidemic here how the quarterbacks are dropping.
And more the rules are to protect them. Goofy stuff still really can happen. And, almost all those. Now, Felipe Franks really got buckled over, but I don't know a rule change that would have prevented that injury. Do you? Unless we outlawed high-low tackling.
No.
And it was gruesome.
That was just unfortunate.
My top story is the Memphis Tigers, easily 3-0. Now an open date that will set up a huge national TV primetime game a week from Thursday against unbeaten Navy in the division, in the AAC, with any weather break. Breaking this heat, no clouds, no rain delays, 10 days to push it. It's time for the real 50,000-plus crowd. I think it will be. But they need that crowd because I think this program has earned it. People forever said, we want to support a winner. Well, they've won. We want to play for something. You're playing for something. We want, magnetic, glitzy, buzzy field of games. Going to have it on Thursday night for the Navy game. Big crowd should be expected.
Let me just say this. After talking with marketing people at the University of Memphis, they're going to go by what the tickets sold are, period. They didn't lie about Ole Miss because they could have easily said over 50. They said 44. Last time Navy was in town, or at least one of the Navy crowds, I don't know if it was the last time now that I think about it, but it was approaching 50,000. I think you will, like you say, if the weather is good. And I do want to temper one thing, though. I mean, and I don't mean to dismiss anytime you're playing Navy, and they got Malcolm Perry back. And if any of you recall 2 years ago when Memphis played against Malcolm Perry, he had a Gale Sayers-like run where he made 8 of the 11 defenders all miss somehow, some way. I mean, he's electric to watch. But Navy has beaten an FCS school and East Carolina. And that's it. They're 2-0, and they got their second bye week already. And they're going to have plenty of time to prepare for the U of M. But I don't really know how good they are. Malcolm Perry's reemergence as their quarterback makes them much better than they were a year ago when they were terribly down. But their defense was not very good last year. So let's just see what happens here.
Well, here's what I don't want in a crowd. Whatever they call it that night, when we go back next summer and do the strict accounting like the Evan Barnes story from May or June on the real crowds from last year, when 38,000 is what they told us for UCF, and it was really 24. 27 for South Alabama, it was really 15. 27 for Houston, it was really 15. What I want is that Thursday night, by golly, one and all can look around and go, joint's pretty much full. That's what I hope.
I hope they have the same kind of crowd, better if possible, but the same kind of crowd they had for Ole Miss. That atmosphere was terrific. It looked like 50,000, and it turned out to be 45.
I hope it's better because we spent all summer talking about order of import of games, and everybody agreed Navy was more important than Ole Miss, right?
Well, it is now.
We said that before the game.
No. It is. I'm when I say now, I mean in this day and age.
And it is.
It hasn't always been that way, but now that you've got a very viable league and a good league.
Show me with the crowd.
Well, we shall see. We shall see.
Not top story of the day.
Well, since you brought up the weather and getting a break, do you know how many days now it has been since we've had rain?
Yes, the last rain was Tuesday, August 28th, 27th.
Well, according to Tim Simpson, I'm doing the math in my head, it was 2 nights ago that it was 18, so we're at 20 because it's not going to rain today. 20 straight days.
I think it'd be about right on my day.
No rain. That's golf courses. Golf courses are burning up. Talk about compacted fairway when there's no rain, unless you're pouring.
Trampoline effect. Your drive's colossal.
It's approaching what I was doing in Maui on the downhill downwind.
How far was that?
520. Let me tell you something. My driving yardage tends to be like your loyalty with teams.
What are you talking about, Dave?
They grow.
Been my team
you
all
just
my
keep
life.
getting more and more. Not top story of the day, really, though. New York Giants. Coach Pat Shurmur today, non-committal about Eli Manning being his starting quarterback this week on the road against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The other option, obviously, is going to Daniel Jones, the number 6 overall pick. Many people really did not like that move when it was made, but
they'll like it even less when they see him out there.
Well, we'll see. If a final decision is made on Wednesday, based on what I've seen so far, I think I'd rather have Mitch Trubisky.
Tell me the yards Eli's passed for the last 2 weeks in each game.
Probably more than the 90 Trubisky had.
Tell me the yards.
I don't know.
When you run him down, tell me what he's passed for.
I don't know. I'm going to say 220 and 180.
Try 325 and 250.
That's better than I thought.
He does not play defense, and he cannot block for himself.
No.
Now,
you know what?
He is limited.
And I will say this. He has had, last year in particular, the worst O-line I'd seen in a while. Now, the Dolphins may be worse
They'll
now.
wreck that rookie. He'll get wrecked. You can play a quarterback too soon.
You can.
And they're about to do it.
We'll see, because in this day and age, quarterbacks, because of the way the college game is, are so much more pro-ready than they used to be.
Are they? I see them ready to run high school offenses. Did you see what the Buffalo Bill quarterback, how he scored yesterday? That was a Saturday morning SYS play.
Didn't see it.
It just quarterback sweep. It was a Saturday morning Little League football play. That's what we're producing, but the NFL's having to adapt to it. My not top story, Angels shutting down Mike Trout for the remainder of this year. He's already one of the great players ever. This year, here's his stat line: 45 homers, 291 batting average, 104 RBI, to mostly yawns. We never see him,
right.
And we never see him from here on, come postseason. He's still holding on 1 postseason appearance, 3 postseason games, and it's been 6 years. Next year at playoff time, it will be 6 years since he's been in the playoffs, already at 5. He's never done anything in the postseason. We know him, but we really don't know him.
The amazing thing is that the Angels have absolutely invested money in that franchise, the ownership group, and they have not gotten any dividend from all that effort.
And they didn't fire, but they moved on from Mike Scioscia. I don't know what their next move is going to be.
Here is our lineup for today. We've got medals coming your way in just a little bit, and I got a whole bunch of those. David Cobb from the Commercial Appeal on the Grizz. Do a short stint with Mr. Cobb. Then John Thompson, our coach in Atlanta on college football at 4:50. We do this new thing, the Gould's Good Style. And then Barrett Jones, who did the Clemson game. Barrett Jones will be with us at 5. At 5:30, the Monday Night Football. Greatest teams, the best 4 players of the Browns and the Jets. And then it will be crunch time. In between, we got lots to talk about, including Memphis and South Alabama, Ole Miss, Southeast Louisiana, Florida and Kentucky. My heart is still breaking for that kicker. And Tennessee against UT Chattanooga, and I just don't understand Jeremy Pruitt. More on that in just
the kicker nailed the kick,
bit.
though. I mean, it's still going.
Well, but it's got to go through these two little things they call uprights, and his was right.
And when will Kentucky ever get in a position to beat Florida in back-to-back years again? Because here's the math.
Didn't the year before that they miss on the similar thing, a missed field goal?
But they won last year.
They did.
But next year, they're going to go down and win 2 times in a row at the Swamp? I doubt.
Be tough.
And Dan Mullen's building a program. If you don't think Scott Strickland was smart at State and is smart at Florida, there were a lot of people trying to push him into hiring. And I think if either one had kind of given the sign, I'm amenable to it, either Chip Kelly or Scott Frost, and he went with Dan Mullen. Dan Mullen's a much better coach than Chip Kelly or Scott Frost.
Dan Mullen is a terrific coach, but Kentucky should have won that game despite whatever.
They didn't.
And by the way, Stoops is a pretty good coach, too.
A lot of people would be 1-2 at Florida, and Dan Mullen's 3-0.
That is true. We take the break. I'll let you know. This portion of the program is brought to you by Trinity Professional Services. That is Tommy Ferrari and Todd Pope's place. I enjoy talking about them because I love success stories. And when you think about 5-6 years ago, this company was 3 or 4 people big, starting in construction, cleaning, business, and then going to churches and schools, and now to residential. It's a great story with about 40 people being hired. It's because they're good at what they do. Fair price, incredible efficiency, and a cleanup job so good it's good for 2 seasons. So now it's fall. You're good until spring if you spring now and go to trinityprofessionalservices.com. Get all the numbers and give Todd Pope a call. You won't be sorry. He'll come out, he'll take a look around, and then he gives you a fair quote. And then he comes in and does windows inside and out like nobody's business. In fact, they've got their own tools they've invented, their own chemicals. It is amazing. And they do carpets. If you think you've needed maybe new carpets when you're done with Trinity Professional Services, they look brand new. You'll be so glad you did it. Rugs, baseboards, ceiling fans, you name it, they do it. Just give them a try, and they will clean it up. Trinity Professional Services.
On Sports 56, 96.1, and 87.7.
All right, let's pull up over here and drop a line. Hey, your feet wet? My feet are wet. Here's the drain plug. You put the plug in the drain, right? It's on the dock.
There's a reason they say curse like a sailor. Many reasons. Progressive's boat insurance has you covered. Quote today at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
Hi, this is John Conway with Conway Services. School's back in. Are the kids going to be running out of hot water every morning? Or worse, are you going to be out of hot water by the time they leave? It may be time for a tankless water heater from Conway Services that never runs out of hot water. At Conway Services, we're making now the perfect time to replace that old energy-guzzling tanked water heater with a new tankless water heater with 24 months to pay, interest-free. Or I'll give you $250 for that old tanked water heater. These energy-saving models only heat the water you use, saving you money on your gas bill every month. And you know with Conway Services, you'll be receiving our award-winning service every time. And no more worrying about that tank bursting in your attic either. See why I say now's the perfect time? Call Conway Services, the Mid-South's premier tankless water heater professionals at 384-3511. That's 384-3511. And the first 30 callers with a 10-year-old water heater, we'll come out and inspect it absolutely free.
Call 384-3511. Conway Services. Conway today.
The Vargas family, legendary Memphis restaurateur, starting with Mr. Charlie and continuing today with his grandchildren.
Brett, it just dawned on me the other day that while Memphis is celebrating its bicentennial, the Rendezvous has been here well over one-third of Memphis's existence. Someone asked me if we remember the day the Rendezvous started, and I tell them no, because if we thought it was going to last this long, we'd have kept much better records. But we're not a place to rest on our laurels or reputation. We're always trying to add new things to make our customers' experience more enjoyable. Friday lunches have always been special because we give away our red beans and rice. But we are now adding a sausage sandwich. It's the same sausage we serve on our cheese and sausage plate, but it will be served lengthwise on the bun with beans and slaw on the side. We've also partnered with a company called Devillet out of Dyersburg to introduce a new sweet glazed mustard with Rendezvous seasoning in it. It'll really go great with a sandwich. I still recommend adding slaw. My grandfather had a hot dog stand on Beale Street in 1916, and we've come full circle using his slaw on our hot dogs. Hope to see you this Friday at the Rendezvous.
In the alley in downtown Memphis.
Once upon a time, there was a sleepy bear in search of a place to nap. Like the inside of a car. A coupe? Too small. An SUV? Too big. A station wagon? Just right. But as his eyelids began to get heavy... Covered it. September 30th, 2013. Talk to farmers. We know a thing or two because we've seen a thing or two.
Call Chad Gatlin at 901-235-1176 or get a fast quote at memphisfarmers.com.
We are farmers. Bum, 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 bum.
Underwritten by Farmers Truck Fire Insurance Exchanges and Affiliates. Products not available in every state.
Got something you want to get off your chest?
You better have a backup plan.
Want to join the conversation?
Someone needs to tell him he has to grow up.
Join us on the First Bank phone lines at 360-8255 or the First Bank text line at 67129. Now, back to Sports Time with Wolo and Stats. This hour of Sports Time is brought to you by Lexus of Memphis. Here once again are Dave Wolochen and Brett Norsworthy.
Here in Tom Petty.
Yeah.
And I sent this to you a few weeks ago, and you said, thanks for ruining my day. A New York Times story that we're getting ready to say goodbye to wave after wave after wave of our era.
All the people I still listen to, they mentioned Jackson Brown in there. I thought.
Now Rick Ocasek yesterday from the Cars.
Oh, I didn't know that. I love the Cars. My goodness. Well, they're all in there. Like if you read the thing.
How old do you think Rick Ocasek was?
73.
75.
75.
How did Rick Ocasek get to be 75?
I'm just looking at like drummers in these bands that I used to listen to, and they're all 73 to 76. I mean, how much longer can they go?
How did they do it?
Eddie Money, who played the AutoZone Liberty Bowl Gala 2 years ago?
Yeah, 70.
70 years of age.
Yeah. And I mean, and that story I sent you, it's going to be often. I mean, seemingly
Paul McCartney
once
dies.
a week.
That'll be terrible.
Springsteen.
Jagger.
Well,
yeah.
Richard.
Jagger, quicker.
Jackson Brown.
Oh, don't say that.
Don Henley.
How about The Who? How about
Roger
Daltrey or Peter Townsend? Pete Townsend.
Ooh. I mean, it's going to be it kind of started with Greg Allman. That was sad, wasn't it?
Right, but he was young when that occurred.
No. Greg Allman was just a few years ago.
Yeah, but he was, how old? He wasn't even 70 yet, I don't think.
He was getting up there.
He was in his 60s. That was cancer,
10 days
though.
he was
That was
Sharon.
cancer, I know.
10 days. 10 dadays.
I think she saved his life, though, once.
I mean,
or somebody in the Allman Brothers.
They probably had it all in those 10 days, didn't they?
I'm sure they grabbed for the gusto.
Loving, hating.
Yeah. I still miss Tom Petty. I really do. But he's, I give him this, or I give Sirius XM this. He's got his own channel, and they do a good job of talking about his songs and what they were thinking about when they did it, and that's really good.
What were they thinking about?
Have you ever listened to the Beatles channel?
Yeah.
And I'm trying to remember one of the guys that was like, played with him every once in a while and is a producer. He talks about what, each song was like. They did this countdown, 100 top Beatles songs.
Oh, yeah, it was all
and
masterpieces.
he went over every one of them as to what was behind it and the thought. It was really, really cool.
And a friend of mine who is a huge, bigger than me, and I'm one of the biggest, but gigantic Rolling Stones fan, he went to France last summer, family trip, and they went to the it like Nell Court? Anyway, the name of the place where the Stones spent months of 1971.
You mean the recording house?
Recording Exile on Main Street.
The Beatles actually did some songs in that Paris production house. Yeah.
No, I don't think it's in Paris. I think it's south of France.
Oh, really?
And
like in Marseille?
Google Exile on Main Street, and he went there and paid homage to it, and took his twin 13-year-olds there.
Wow.
Said, y'all got to know about this place.
You know, if I go to France,
And this guy's a cardiologist.
I got to say something. If I go to France, there's a lot of other places I want to see before I'm looking at where the production house was. That's just me.
No, it wasn't a production house. It was a private residence that they bought or leased.
Oh, okay. And that's where they stayed
and sat there
when they went to record?
And grinded out Exile on Main Street there, the definitive tome of the 70s.
Where?
In a rented villa named Nelcote. I don't know how to pronounce
Court.
Nelcourt.
Looks like
I don't
Court,
know.
yeah, something like that. Yeah.
In the south of France.
Yeah.
Cool.
Boy, again, don't you know some drugs were going down in that bunker?
Sure. Absolutely.
it was artistic expression being expressed, wasn't it? Favorite Beatles song? You got one?
Oh, no.
How hard one? Number one. Just got to pick one. You would never guess mine. We could stay
A day in the life for you.
No, we could stay here truly to a year from now.
Well, just give it to me.
Dear Prudence.
Oh, I love Dear Prudence. That White Album was great. There's a lot of great songs on that double White Album.
Yeah. It was very inspired too, wasn't it?
There are,
and
you know,
send
when
out
they
some
were
different
going over those
inspiration to
100
others.
songs, I kept going, yeah, I love that song. That might be my favorite. No, this is my, no, I like this one better. No, I can't pick it. No way. I mean, that's, and all of them were such prolific songwriters, even George Harrison.
Here Comes the Sun, my second favorite.
That might be my first. Here Comes the Sun is so beautiful. And then there's like the early stuff that they did.
The poppy stuff?
Kind of poppy, but it was, just the simple early stuff that nobody'd heard because their harmonies were so ingenious.
But they really did span the ranges from kind of garage band. I know they weren't, but kind of that genre to the poppy stuff.
They had to start somewhere.
Yeah, everybody's got to start somewhere. That's a fact. Everybody comes from somewhere. That is a fact. And then to the the grungy.
I mean, if you really want
hard drug sound,
probably the definitive in their minds, I would bet, album would be Sgt. Pepper's.
Yeah,
that's what I would think. In the meantime, we go away from culture to sports and to medals. I got a bunch. I got to start with the Tigers football team. I'll talk more about this in our Gould Style section.
You're just giving a bronze?
Yeah. It's only the third game at South Alabama. It's a Sun Belt team that was picked fourth in their division.
From 35 points to 6 points in a year allowed.
That was good.
That's worth something, isn't it?
That's good.
Just a bronze.
How about the running game, though? 2 100-yard receivers. They were very, very close to, and I wish they had done this. Let Coxie catch another pass or two. You could have had 2 100-yard pass runners and a 100-yard receiver. That would have been really, really cool. I got to give a bronze medal. I sort of do this for you. Jimmy Garoppolo. This man that you have maligned, said is awful. 297 yards, 3 touchdowns, 49ers are 2-0.
And he will have more days like that if they rush like they did yesterday. You want to guess how many yards they rushed for yesterday? I bet you didn't look at that part of the box score, did you?
I'll say they rushed for 170 yards.
260, I think.
Wow. How could they have done that? That would have put them at almost 600 yards total. As you check. What is it?
It's popping up now. Rushing yards for San Francisco, 259.
Man. Wow.
If they rush for 259, Jimmy G will look that good.
They had 560 yards total.
Who was it against?
All right.
Thank you.
Patrick Mahomes gets a bronze medal for me. I'm going to tell you what. 495 yards, 4 touchdowns. And I mentioned,
Dave, I'm going to tell you, your grading curve right now is very difficult. If you were a professor, don't sign up for Dr. Woloshin's class. The Tigers are bronze.
Well,
you throw in Jimmy
I'm
G
a little.
just to get it
I got to tell you.
And Pat Mahomes a bronze? Is this allowed?
It's the second week of the season, for goodness sake. Second week. Can't go all out yet.
Can't wait to hear your goals.
Give it time. Patrick Mahomes was like unreal.
Guarantee
you know why?
Dave's gonna have a goal like from some bicyclist in a race
No.
in
Think about who my
Azerbaijan.
Gold, think about who my gold will be. And believe me, it's not one of your teams. I don't know if there was a way you would probably link to
Dak
it.
Prescott?
No.
Zeke Elliott?
That's not your team.
It is my team, Dave. Why are you being like this?
Did you find that?
He is not to be found.
I'm gonna find it.
Please.
I remember what
'Cause
day
the
it is.
next
I just
time-
got to find the
next
segment.
time he calls the Cowboys his team, we're halting production.
Some ugly text replies y'all sent back to me yesterday, too. You should be congratulating me on my team.
I didn't think.
Thought we were all better than that. Really did.
Did the Jaguars win?
No, they lost a heartbreaker.
That's what I thought.
13-12.
I don't understand why.
Jags. Nobody
Why
thinks the
would
Jags
we
is a
be-
team.
I got big
be
shoulders
doing
for
that?
you, Brett. Come on.
Silver medals. 901 FC. They've got 3 wins in a row. They're now in 12th place. 2 places away from the playoffs, but that's still 8 points away. That'll be tough. But if they keep winning, and they play Saturday night against one of the best teams in the division, in the league, St. Louis. And St. Louis clobbered, I think it was 4-0 up in St. Louis last time they played. We'll see. That'll be at AutoZone Park on Sunday night. I've got to give the silver medal to UCF. This is amazing. I know you know the answer since I've already questioned you about this, Brett, but I'm going to ask Drew. Off the top of your head, Drew, how many games in a row do you think the Knights have scored 30 or more points?
21.
29. 29. That is some kind of offense.
And a new quarterback.
Oh, Dylan Gabriel, a true freshman.
Any kin to Roman or Peter Gabriel since we went rock history?
I do not know.
Can you imagine Peter Gabriel
He'd
with a solid
probably
play?
he'd probably be better served if it was Roman than Peter.
Yeah, well, might have a lot more fun if it was Peter.
And my gold medal goes to my Cubs offense. 47 runs scored in 3 games. 14, 16, and 17. They probably should have saved some for Cincinnati this week. Oh, and at the same time, your Cubs have to face Strasburg, Corbin, and your Cardinals. Did I say Cubs?
Yeah.
Your Cardinals have to face
Well,
the
they're my
Nationals.
Cubs, too, for the 13-run pool.
With Strasburg, Corbin, and Scherzer. Cubs are only 2 out, and there's still 7 games to go.
It's coming down to those games. And Milwaukee's right in the middle of it. Without Yelich, without Babe Yelich.
I know it. I feel so bad about it. I like I said when it occurred, have you ever seen anybody break a kneecap off a foul ball off your own bat?
No, I've seen top of the foot, but I've in shin, but kneecap and just split in 2. You ready for me?
Yeah.
Bronze medal for me. The teams that shift the less in Major League Baseball. Be careful saying shifting, especially on a Monday. The teams that shift the least are all kind of in the playoff mix. Would you like to guess who is the most shiftless?
I think this is a shifty thing to do.
Number 30 in shifting, and it scares me to death even more saying it.
Yeah.
Cubs shift the less of anybody. They're 30th.
Oh, wow.
The Nats are 29th. Cleveland's 28th. That could be 3 playoff teams right there. Mets 27. They're not. Angels 26. Atlanta 25th. San Diego 24th. And St. Louis 23rd.
I've seen the Cardinals shift a bunch, so that's interesting. That's hard to believe they're 23rd.
Numbers 1 and 2 in shifting could be your World Series.
Oh, really?
Dodgers, Astros. They shift.
They
more
shift
than
the
anybody.
most? To me, I would shift. I really would. I would make a guy who's a power hitter who pulls all the time. I would make him learn to go the other way. And if he can't,
And they're not going to go the other way. They won't do it.
Which is stupid in my opinion. But I would say try it because we're going to take away what you do.
Silver medal for me, UCF. And they demolished Stanford. I wonder if the announcers are still that big on David Shaw. Won't you be big
Why
on
do you
Josh
have
Heupel?
this thing against David Shaw?
It's not him. It's how they treat him. It's the coddling of him. Speaking of coaches, if I told you Ole Miss, Arkansas, Mississippi State, heck, just about anybody, but those three that have been through a lot of coaches, Tennessee now been through a lot of coaches, how would you like to sign up for this? 2 coaches over 40 years and not one hint of scandal around the NCAA, not a hint. And in that, a lot of Rose Bowls, some Orange Bowls, representative teams. That's Iowa football the last 40 years. They've gone Shades Fry, Kirk Ferentz for 40 years.
Hayden Fry, Kirk Ferentz, 40 years. That's amazing.
Isn't it? And no scandal.
No.
No big screaming headlines.
No national titles.
Wouldn't you love that if you're at a place that's always chewing through coaches? You got to be a little patient.
I would. I just don't know that they're as rabid about winning there.
But they've won. And when they don't, they don't go crazy.
They've won, but they've never really been in the national picture. They're in the Big Ten picture.
All right, at those places I named, wouldn't they like to do that? When are they really going to be in the national picture?
Let me ask you this question. Let me put it to you like this. Kirk Ferentz's record at Iowa, would that be accepted at Alabama? Would that be accepted at Auburn?
I didn't mention those. No, I didn't mention those. I mentioned Alabama. I mentioned Arkansas, Ole Miss, and Mississippi State. That's chewed through the coaches, and now Tennessee doing it.
Yeah, but you know what? Here's part of the reason why. If we look at that division, you got 4 teams that probably have more money than God that are above you. When you take Alabama, Auburn, LSU, and A&M, you got to play them every year.
I think a dose of the Iowa patience might pay off for somebody that would ever try it.
Okay.
And they've been through the coaches, and now Tennessee's doing it.
Well, Mississippi State might have been a lot more patient and wanted to keep Dan Mullen.
Well, they were patient with him.
He's the one that chose.
Year he kind of got in trouble?
And he was the one that chose to go. So that's not on them.
Yeah, that's true. That change was not on them, but a bunch of changes have been on them.
And let's be honest, I think that the fan base, and even to a certain extent until the very end, the administration loved Hugh Freeze. He had to go because of infractions in the NCAA and a moral code.
That's not why he was fired.
Well, the moral code.
He was fired after overwhelming evidence. After told to cut it out, it was not cut out. That's why he was fired. Gold medal, Tigers defense. In a year, they go from allowing 35 to this team to allowing 3. We've thought the improvement on defense has been there. That's the first real sign of it. And I think we'll see more signs of it as the year goes on. And a gold medal goes to Tua and to Jalen. I don't know why it couldn't. I guess it with they vote, the Heisman could end in a flat foot tie.
Sure it could. I think, has there ever been a tie?
No, most narrow vote ever was when Mark Ingram won over Colt McCoy and Ndamukong Suh in 2009. What if it ended in a tie for those two? Forever linked.
I think it'd be cool, to be honest.
I do too. Drew, you're the anti-tie.
It'd be interesting, but I don't think it'd be cool. I just don't like ties in anything.
Boy, it'd be Heisman's everywhere then, because university gets one, they're everywhere already.
I think it would be neat. This portion of the show brought to you by Family Leisure.
Can you split a vote when you vote?
No.
So just first place, second.
Exactly. And they assign points to that.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm trying to remember if I go 10 deep on that. I think it's 10 deep on the...
I think they list 10, yeah.
It's 10 deep on the Wooden Award. I don't think it's 10 deep on the Heisman. I don't remember.
They list the top 10 when the results come in that Saturday night.
Yeah. I think I could put in anybody I want to. I think I vote for 3 or 4 or 5. I can't remember which. But I could vote for anybody. There's not a list like there is.
You got Rust?
With the Wooden Award. I got a bunch, but what I want to do is come back after the break and give you the Rust. And I was about to tell you, you need to get on over to Family Leisure. We're in the studios here, but the place to go is I-40 and Wooden Road, because that's where the spa sale is going on. 50 spas in stock, ready to ship. And I'm talking about deals like $8,000 spas starting at $44.99. That's almost half price. I've not seen that before. 4-person spas, they start at $24.99. The swim spas, those are the big ones. They start at $89.99. They tell me, and I believe them, these are going to be the lowest prices on spas all year long. Like that 1.5. I've never seen that before. And they've got special financing available. Please get to I-40 and Wooden Road. That's where you'll find 70,000 square feet of family, of fun, a spa sale, all happening at Family Leisure.
In this market, who always did the best financing available?
That was Jack.
That was Jack.
That was
King,
Big
wasn't it?
Jack.
And it was almost like he was falling out of his chair doing it.
I think he was. I do. We'll have to ask Jarva, though, to be sure. We take the break. We're back in a minute. We give you Russ, and we'll put a wrap on hour number 1 of Sports Time with Wolo and Stats.
Sports 56 now has 2 FM homes. You can now find real sports talk on 96.1 as well as 87.7 on your FM dial.
DeSoto Auto Sales specializes in late model cars with low mileage. They have the highest standards in the car industry. All of their cars are test-driven, checked out from head to toe, unlimited inventory, every make and model. And if it's not on the lot, they'll find it for you. Walk in the door of DeSoto Auto Sales, 5704 Goodman Road. Within 45 minutes, you can test your car, get credit approval, and finish paperwork within an hour. No shortcuts at DeSoto Auto Sales. Kind, courteous employees, a down-home environment. DeSoto Auto Sales cares about your time. Lowest prices in a 350-mile radius. We're living in a world today where time does matter. Visit them online. Check out their referrals. DeSotoAutosales.com. Very proud to serve DeSoto County and other surrounding areas. DeSoto Auto Sales, 5704 Goodman Road. Call 662-890-7184. 662-890-7184. Come on down to DeSoto Auto Sales.
Did you know nearly 40% of men under 40 and over 75% of men over the age of 40 experience sexual performance concerns? At the Memphis Men's Clinic, there are physical issues, low testosterone, or erectile dysfunction. The Memphis Men's Clinic has evaluated hundreds of men of all ages over the years and reestablished a normal sexual life. The Memphis Men's Clinic will work aggressively to resolve issues and allow you to restore your sexual health and overall well-being. That's the Memphis way. If you're 20 years old or 90 years old, come and get cared for the Memphis way. Treatment that's based on your specific needs after a professional clinical evaluation by their experienced board-certified physician. Call the Memphis Men's Clinic today at 901-443-0475 or visit memphismensclinic.com.
There's a new commissary in town in Collierville. Germantown Commissary is doubling. Yeah, they're still going to have the old Germantown Commissary by the tracks, but now there's a huge new Germantown Commissary in Collierville at Poplar and Houston Levee Road. It's huge, too. There's a drive-through. There's plenty of parking. No telephone pole to get in your way. A cool patio. It's right by the track, so the tradition continues. And this is a tradition that's been around forever. That commissary is famous for hickory-smoked, slow-cooked Memphis-style barbecue. They've got a private party room at the new one in Collierville. Self-catering still continues. Party packs for $5.95. Basically, the great ribs, the great pulled shoulder, the great deviled eggs. Everything is there in Collierville and Germantown now. So there is now a Germantown and Collierville style of barbecue. It's called Germantown Commissary.
Hi, folks. Rob Walker, Infiniti of Memphis, and we've got a new Infiniti crossover vehicle that has raised the standard of comparison to a new level. Imagine having both sports car performance and eco-friendly efficiency on demand, working together to empower every driving experience. The result of 20 years of engineering, QX50's award-winning variable compression turbo engine is the world's only engine of its kind. Like two engines in one, it delivers a combination of power and efficiency that is truly in a category all its own, and only Infiniti has it. You'll never sacrifice performance for the sake of efficiency again. And QX50 MSRP starts at only $36,550, which is less than its Acura, Audi, and Mercedes competitors. Add to that QX50's award-winning sumptuous interior, and you have the best combination of performance and comfort in the mid-size crossover segment.
MSRP excludes destination charge, tax, title, license, and options. Infiniti of Memphis or online at infinityofmemphis.com.
Football is here. I know. I have a sports talk radio show.
Why do you always have to throw that in my face?
Because it's fun. Now, let's get down to the Central Barbecue ad?
We're talking the incredible bulk.
I have no idea what that means.
Tailgating and Central Barbecue means this is the time for bulk ordering.
Oh, I get it. Incredible bulk.
Yes, you call ahead and order enough delicious Central Barbecue food to feed your entire tailgating crew. Central Barbecue is your one-stop shopping destination for all your chowing down needs.
And with all their locations.
Central Avenue, Summer Avenue, downtown, or the shiny new location on Poplar.
There's a Central Barbecue central to wherever Memphians are.
Nice line.
Now, back to Sports Time with Wolo and Stats. This hour of Sports Time is brought to you by Lexus of Memphis. Here once again are Dave Woloshin and Brad Norsworthy.
We like to party. Hey, everybody, if it's a new Chevy, any new Chevy, Olive Branch is where you need to go. If you want a new 2020 Silverado or 2020 Blazer, get to All-Star Chevy at Olive Branch, ready for you to drive today. Traverse, Equinox, Impala, best new All-Star Chevy lineup ever, and most have 0 for 72 financing. Only All-Star has the ABCs. A, the All-Star Challenge. Take any written offer from any Mid-South auto dealer to All-Star Chevy, get a better deal, new or pre-owned, or they buy you a tank of gas. B, best buying experience, period. No wasting your time. They make it that easy. And C, the customer care. You're all in. Loaner cars, free oil changes. It's the All-Star family. It's not South Haven. It's not the Pike. It's not Collierville. It's got to be Olive Branch. Find new roads to All-Star Chevy or go to allstarautogroup.com.
My rusts, and I got a few here. I start with NFL officiating. I already mentioned it. It's just amazing and how unlucky it is for New Orleans. But even in the Bears-Broncos game, there were some bad roughing the passer calls.
That was football.
The
he didn't pile drive him.
They had Goldman was called for a hit on Flacco. He just let go of the ball. He was already in flight, and he hit him at the waist. I mean, how
that's supposed to be the target area. Isn't it?
It was. They're just. You would think they would be really good. I got to give a rust to Lovie Smith. That is embarrassing. Losing
Here's
to
the bitterness,
Eastern
Drew.
Michigan.
Called it Friday. You weren't here. Called it Friday. Dave launched a salvo against Lovie Smith Friday. He took him to a Super Bowl. Lovie took Dave to a Super Bowl with the Bears. He cost you. That's why you're really mad, because you had him as one of your picks.
No. I liked Lovie Smith. He was okay as a Bear.
Yeah.
He was dreadful as a Buck. He's even worse at the University of Illinois. His Tony Dungy defense has been found out. He's awful. You lost to Eastern Michigan. You're the University of Illinois. You didn't lose to Michigan. You lost to Eastern Michigan.
And it was Dave's college lock Friday.
Well, that made me bitter, too. That is true.
And his pro lock going against the Packers was just Bear hatred. And
I thought Minnesota was good.
Look what it got you.
Can I just say this? The Packers are better than I thought. They are better than I thought.
They good, though?
They could be, because Minnesota's good, and they beat Minnesota. They were at home, and part of that was the Packer hate. I will admit, I'm not perfect. I got to give the Miami Dolphins a rust. How could you give up in this season 102 points and score 10? That's what the Dolphins have done. Maybe they're the worst. And then I got to give Jeremy Pruitt a rust for his press conference. We got to talk about that a little bit later.
We'll talk about it with Barrett, too, because Barrett knows Jeremy Pruitt well. And it's just really, you're going down the wrong track when you start blaming everything on the media. It's about the easiest thing in the world to do. And that was after a win. My rust, all the rules for injury, and 2 superstar quarterbacks get hurt on plays that, frankly, you could get hurt playing flag football on those plays. An elbow could pop.
Yeah.
And a thumb could hit another player ahead playing flag football.
It's just hard to believe the two really of the elite quarterbacks in the game today are now, one's out for the year and the other's
that hurts business.
Out for at least,
that's why they don't want them hit, because that hurts business.
Yeah. Well, it certainly hurts the New Orleans Saints' chance of getting back to the NFC
Championship. We got to talk about how hot
game.
Friday Bruce Marshall was on these airwaves. He lost 2 games in college.
He's like that most days.
Both by a half point.
He's good. And he's fun to listen to, that's for sure. We got to take a break. We're back in a minute. Hour number 2 right around the corner. We'll start with David Cobb from the Commercial Appeal. This is Sports Time with Wolo and Stats.
Hey everybody, this is Coach Penny Hardaway. There's a comfort in being home, and to me, comfort food and family makes Memphis the place to be, along with having the best basketball fans in America. I like pulling into Corky's and getting one of their family party packs. How can you go wrong with pork, beans, slaw, sauce, and buns for only $5.99 a person? It is so easy. I can call ahead, order online, or just pop in. Tailgating can't get any easier. Tell them Penny sent you.
Encore flavor, Corky's barbecue.
If you are thinking about renting or purchasing a compact excavator, the best choice is Bobcat. Bobcat excavators are made in America and proudly represented by the Mid-South's largest compact equipment dealer. With 9 offices, Williams Equipment has the most locations for rental, sales, and service. Whether you do plumbing, utilities, swimming pools, concrete breaking, or foundations, Williams Equipment has the right Bobcat excavator for you.
This is Cody Bumpus, the Bobcat Specialist of North Mississippi. Call me for a demonstration and a finance quote at 901-508-8739.
All right, let's pull up over here and drop a line. Hey, your feet wet? My feet are wet. Here's the drain plug. You put the plug in the drain, right? It's on the dock.
There's a reason they say curse like a sailor. Many reasons. Progressive's boat insurance has you covered. Quote today at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
AC trouble? Make your first call your last call. Call Air Doctors of Memphis, 901-598-HVAC. Owner Matt Davis is a third-generation full-service air conditioning specialist. Air Doctors of Memphis services all major brands, and labor and parts are guaranteed 100%. Their yearly AC checkup is only $60, and 24-hour emergency service is billed at normal rates. Your comfort is their highest priority. Contact airdoctorsofmemphis.com or call 901-598-HVAC.
You already know you can listen to Sports 56, 96.1, and 87.7 anywhere with the Sports 56 app or at sports56whbq.com. But you can also keep up to date with everything going on by keeping up with Sports 56 on social media. Be sure to follow us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and Twitch for information on breaking news, chances to win prizes, and video of all the shows. Don't miss out on anything that's going on. Stay in touch with Sports 56, 96.1, and 87.7 on social media. We are Sports 56 WHBQ Memphis, WIVG-FM Tunica Memphis, and WPG-FLP Memphis, Flynn Broadcasting Stations. Now, more of Sports Time with Wolo and Stats. This hour of Sports Time is brought to you by Homer Skelton Hyundai. Here once again are Dave Woloshin and Brad Norsworthy.
Welcome in hour number 2 on this terrific Monday. I'm a little lost, Normally I've gone to the Norvell luncheon. I'd be getting ready for a game, and there's no game until Thursday. And these first 3 games have been so much fun.
The rest of the month off.
I just can't.
Some great scheduling for the Tigers. It has gone swimmingly.
Well, the best thing
except for
and I asked Mike Norvell on his TV show yesterday if he was in charge of this bye before the Navy game, which to me is incredibly beneficial. He goes, no, that was the league that did that. How about Navy? They didn't play a game the first week, played 2 games, and they got a bye for Memphis. So even though it's advantageous for Norvell to take a look and to prepare for an offense that we'll never see, triple option, right? It's also a week Navy's got to put in new wrinkles that nobody has seen.
Did you see today?
And Niumatalolo will do that.
Where Chip Kelly said if he could recruit to it at UCLA, he would run the wishbone. Boy, that's a good way to sell tickets. Saturday night at the Rose Bowl for UCLA and Oklahoma. Free tickets. Free.
No.
If you come to the game, we'll give you tickets.
That is hard to believe. That's
for OU and UCLA.
Well, I just think UCLA is not living up to the billing, obviously.
I just think it'll be very difficult after you give away something to then charge for it.
The beat writer for the Commercial Appeal is David Cobb when it comes to the Memphis Grizzlies, and we're really just a few weeks away from
closing in
pro basketball and exhibition games. Let's start with the World Cup, and what a year for Marc Gasol. NBA championship,
happy for that guy.
And now a World Cup title too. Wow.
It really put it all together. And not only did he win the thing with Spain, but he played a big role for that team. He was arguably their best player, which is awesome for him at that stage of his career to be playing as big of a role for a pretty good national team as he is. So, man, I mean, it's just awesome. Just an awesome few months for him. I guess a little bit bittersweet for us in Memphis to kind of, have bid farewell to him and now see him, have, all this glory. But I know everybody. I mean, anybody with a soul in Memphis who followed the Grizzlies during his time is really happy for him.
Yeah, we're happy for Marc Gasol. No qualifiers, right?
Right. I mean, well, there's no reason it's not like Spain beat the U.S. in the championship game. So yeah, absolutely. I don't think there's any reason not to be happy for him. And here's a guy that's in a different conference than the Grizzlies. That by the time the Grizzlies are really fighting for playoff contention, they probably won't be pitted against each other in any significant games. So there's no reason not to be happy for him.
I'm thrilled for him. It makes me think for sure. This is going to be a long stretch for him, like a 2-year stretch, because you think, I don't know if Toronto's going to go as far as they did a year ago. That's unlikely, not without Kawhi Leonard. But they're going to make the playoffs, so he's going to have that without really a whole bunch of break here. And then they're playing in the Olympics next year. He's definitely wants to play in the Olympics. That may be his last international competition. But we're talking about 2 nonstop years for the guy.
And there's a chance, David, he could be a trade deadline piece for somebody for another playoff push, so he could go deep with somebody else other than Toronto.
That is absolutely true. I mean, he'll be 35 by the 2020 trade deadline, and with his contract being a big expiring deal, and him still proving how valuable he is. I mean, let's be honest. I just don't see the Raptors without Kawhi Leonard being able to make a deep playoff run, and if they're not in a position, to really, make a playoff run, or if they're kind of ready to start retooling things, yeah, he could definitely be a guy that's traded. And it's interesting because that might mean that he might not make a Grizzlies return this year because depending on who he gets traded to, if he gets traded, his return with the Raptors is at the very end of the season. And so if he's not with the Raptors then, I mean, it'll just kind of depend on where he goes or, and even if he is with the Raptors and then kind of in the playoffs, maybe they come to this with one of the last games of the season, maybe it's not up, I don't know. So, we know we've got Conley coming twice in November, and you would assume that he'll be active in both of those games. But the Marc Gasol reunion, I don't think is sure of a bet at this point, without a doubt.
You say goodbye to Gasol. We may not see again. We know we're going to see Mike Conley, that is for sure. And Mike really did a nice thing this past weekend. Came back for that final Billy Harwood Lane's bash for sickle cell anemia, of which he himself gave $500,000 right after he was traded, even though he was disgusted with management, made that clear. He still, came through for the city and did it again in probably what was the last one. I don't know if you were there, but I've read a bunch of different commentaries and articles about it. I think it was a very moving Saturday night at Billy Harwood's.
Yeah, I was actually hanging out with Stats down in Oxford on Saturday at the Ole Miss game. But, Mark Giannato was there, and I was kind of taken by some of the remarks that Conley made to Mark and whoever else was there. He essentially said that he was sort of negotiating on the Grizzlies' behalf during the trade talks. And I think that's unique. I got the article pulled up here. He said it. Quote from Mike Conley, it was almost like I was negotiating the deal for them. Like, make sure you get this, that, and the other, because you want to have more picks or more people. And then he said, I'm just thrilled to see what they got. So that's really fascinating to me, this idea of Mike Conley making sure that the Grizzlies don't get shorted in a deal for him. And it's another example, guys, of kind of, the Grizzlies sort of having respect for the player who's given them a lot, and the player having a lot of respect for them, even if he wasn't thrilled with how things had gone over the previous couple of months. I mean, I just don't think that you can map out a separation any better than the one that's happened here with Conley and the Grizzlies for either side. It's kind of been pretty seamless, and I, like I said, I was impressed, or maybe high at him opening up and kind of saying that he was helping negotiate on the Grizzlies' part in a deal for himself.
Wasn't all four goodbyes for the big four? Weren't the good manners pretty much on for all four? I mean, none of it got ugly, did it?
Not that I'm aware of. I mean, you guys would have more insight on PA and Zebo. I know there were some. I feel like there were more people then maybe who kind of wanted to bring them back or wanted to keep it going. But no, I mean, everything's been pretty seamless. You've kind of gotten to see Zebo and have that moment with him this past season. Well, one, he came back as a player with Sacramento, but then this past season he came back and was in the building when Mark passed some record of Zebo, I think was for rebounding. So you've sort of had these nice sort of good moments with Zebo. I don't know. Like, I feel like we still need one more of those with TA.
That's the one guy. I agree with you. That's the one guy we really never did say goodbye to. I know Zebo no longer lives in Memphis. I don't think Tony Allen does either.
I don't know. I saw him on South Main at a coffee shop like a couple of months ago.
Really?
Zebo did move? Because he lived here for a while.
Oh, no. Zebo moved. He sold his house by Lausanne, yeah.
Zebo's daughter was in the Lausanne choir when they sang before the game, before the Kings played, a few months ago. But that might have been all the way back in December now I'm thinking about it. So, he may have kind of moved. I know he's got a lot going on. He's an entrepreneur. He's kind of in the business, or the music business now. He's kind of sponsoring some hip hop artists and stuff. So, they both got other things going on now. Basketball has passed by, but I think this could be very soon when you start to see the Grizzly retirement ceremonies. For those two.
So we've moved on from the Big Four. When we know if we ever have a Big Four again with the Memphis Grizzlies, we think two of the pieces will be Jaren and Ja. It will be interesting through the years to see the next two to add to that, if indeed we ever have a Big Four again, David.
Yeah, Grayson Allen and Ivan Rabb, right?
Maybe not.
No, John and Jaren are definitely the centerpieces. I was talking with some coworkers earlier about, this. Anthony Rule as John and Jaren are. Well, okay, there are three players: John, Jaren, and Jonas. Who, and any of the three of those suffer a substantial injury. So that would be the decimating or the deflating part of this Grizzly season. It wouldn't be necessarily the losses. We know that those are going to be there. We know there's going to be growing pains. The thing that would really make this Grizzly season frustrating or underproductive in terms of where they are is if one of those three guys, gets hurt. And as long as you avoid that, I think you're going to start to see them kind of build a core. And John Jaren, I mean, from everything you can see and everything, you kind of gather from being around them or talking to them, they've got a really good chemistry off the court that I think is going to translate really well onto the court, especially with the way they play. And so as long as those guys can stay healthy, I think it'll be a good year. And then Jonas can stay healthy too, because if Jonas gets hurt, then Jaren's kind of got to play out of position and play a more physical style, and I think that could kind of disrupt the development of their chemistry too.
Here's your core four: those two plus Dylan Brooks and Bruno Caboclo.
Here's my
maybe
core
the other
four.
I'm going to go with the other BC. I'm going to say Brandon Clark. I don't know.
Here's my core four: those two, Brandon Clark, and in the lottery next year, James Wiseman.
Ooh.
They're going to get the first pick?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, they could be in position for it. I mean, I don't know. They might be. A lot of these publications that are done are now predictions for the season. A lot of them have the Grizzlies as the last place team in the Western Conference. I mean, you can agree or disagree with that all you want, but I mean, if that's the case, then they'll have a pretty good time.
Even if they are, let me ask you this: and I don't know the answer, but I'm guessing this has never happened in the history of the draft since we've gone to this lottery system. Has there ever been a team that had the second pick one year and the first pick the next?
I would imagine so. I mean,
I don't think so.
Had some amazing luck in the lottery. The Grizzlies haven't had much good luck. They got good luck this past year. Maybe the good streak continues. I don't know.
That would be something, though. Those three with Wiseman?
Yeah, I don't know. The James Wiseman pairing is kind of fascinating to entertain. I mean, I haven't seen enough of James Wiseman's game yet to really, break it down. But you kind of feel like he and Jaren are similar and being the tall, lengthy, big men who are rim protectors and maybe a little bit more offensively versatile than a traditional big man. And but I think they can make it work. That wouldn't be a bad problem to have. It wouldn't be a bad problem to have at all to try and figure out how those two would play together.
Dave, what's the very earliest the Grizzlies could extend Jaren Jackson?
Yeah, that's a good question. I'd have to kind of dig into that to make sure I'm saying it right. But, I mean, they don't have to worry about that for a while. As long as they're willing to extend the qualifying offer either at the end of this season or maybe it's next season. I'd have to double-check. As long as they're willing to do that, they'll have plenty of time, and I think they'll be willing to do that. But I mean, I guess on the flip side, it's never too early to kind of start, worrying about stuff like that. I mean, we've seen it time and time again in this NBA that that guys don't want to be locked up in one place forever if they don't feel like it's a place that can contend for a title. So, I mean, that definitely, maybe a little premature to look into it, but I get where you're going with that.
Well, Brett, the way you bring that up, it's almost like it's a foregone conclusion. This guy is going to be great. We only saw him play like the beginning of February last year, and I think he's got a big upside. Don't get me wrong, but what do you think is really a fair expectation this year? What should be his points, rebounds in this his second season?
And admit a foregone conclusion, he's going to be great.
Is it?
I'm asking.
Not for me. I mean, what's great? That's why I'm saying to you, what are the number expectations for this year, his second year? I would start with playing more than just into February.
Yeah, well, no doubt. But I think I think you have to trust what you saw with Jaren Jackson Jr. this year. The rest of the country didn't see the guy play. The Grizzlies had one national TV game, and it was the Martin Luther King Day game where everything went to crap. So the rest of the country didn't see the guy. We saw him. You got to trust what you saw with the guy. Off the page to you because he was so limited in minutes because of foul trouble and because maybe he didn't like trust him late in the game. But as you go back and watch, it's hard not to say that he's not going to have a really great career. And I don't think it's going to be an MVP career. I don't think he's going to be competing for anything like that. But I mean, this guy can very well be an all-star by year 4 or 5.
Okay,
I mean,
and if he's not all that, and Dave's question is an emphatic no, he's not all that. Well, the Grizzlies are in more hurt than we can ever imagine.
But I just really don't think there's there's nothing that he has done, Jaren, that Jaren has done. He was 19 this past season and played at a really high level. There were games where he looked, like a seasoned pro, but if you look at his body, you can just tell that over this offseason he's already bulked up. You can just you just know the pedigree that he comes from and the people that he works with, and having a relationship with Kevin Garnett's father, who played in the NBA. All these things. So, I mean, he's got every tool that you can want, every attribute that you can want. In terms of building a big man, and I mean, I just don't think there's any reason to really doubt. Will he be an absolute superstar? I don't know. You can question that, but I think it's at the worst you're going to see a guy who develops into a fringe all-star.
Just give me a number. What would be a good second number for a guy, second-year numbers, for a guy who you just said, David, would be an all-star in years 4 or 5?
Yeah, I mean, so he was around 14 points a game and 5 rebounds as a rookie. Mm-hmm. Now, the aspect of that really needs to increase is the rebounds. I mean, because if this is a guy that projects to be a 5 at some point in the NBA, he's got to be able to pull down rebounds. He's got to be able to bruise in the paint a little bit better than he did as a rookie. So, I'm more concerned about that than I'm the point. So if he's going from 14 and 4.5 as a rookie, playing less than 30 minutes a game, you think he's going to play over 30 minutes a game and be a more featured part of the offense? I'm going to say 18.5 points a game and 8 rebounds a game as a second-year player. I mean, I think that's very realistic because you got to remember that for the entire time that he was active last season, Mike Conley and Marcus Gasol were active too, and the primary focuses of that team. Jaren Jackson Jr. is going to be a guy who they see with almost every possession down the court this season. He's going to be playing more minutes, and he's going to be bigger and stronger and better. So, I mean, I think the 18.5 points and 8 rebounds, I don't think that's unrealistic, and I think that's an awesome trajectory. I think that's I think it's realistic, and I think it's something that you could really be excited about.
All right, on Dave's theme of playing more, give me games played. Give me how early they shut him down for maintenance and putting him in safety wrap. How soon?
I would think that he would play more than 70 games because he's got to learn how to do it. He's got to do it at some point. They're going to be developing chemistry. Unless there's a legitimate reason, I don't think that the injury he had this past year was legitimate enough to really warrant him sitting down for as long as he did. And I think if he's got something similar working this year, they'll probably let him play through it because every game that he can get with John Morant out there is going to be, critical for their development together. So I would say more than 70. Now, I don't think he's going to play in all 82. I think there will be some nights where he takes off or some nights where he's got something that he's got to take care of. But 70 to 75 would be my target for Jaron in year 2.
I think if he plays 70 games, 72 games, and he plays 32 minutes a game, he's the featured scorer on this team. There's no Mark. There's no Mike. Ja's a passer. He's the guy. I think 20.5 would be telling me that this guy is going to take the mantle and be a star.
Yeah. Well, there's room for that points to go higher. I mean, I won't dispute that. The comparison that I'll make, and I just pulled it up, John Collins, who I've said multiple times, is that the blueprint for the Grizzlies this season is much like what the Hawks did this past season. And they had a rookie point guard last year, Trae Young, who was bad at first, but got a lot better, like you're going to see John Morant do. And then they had a second-year forward who took a huge step forward from year 1 to year 2 in John Collins. He went from 10.5 points as a rookie, Collins did, to 19.5 as a second-year player. He nearly doubled his scoring output from rookie year to second year. I mean, so estimating 18.5 for Jaron, that's a conservative, leap based off of what John Collins did from year 1 to year 2, playing a similar number of minutes. So, there's room for that. Wolo, I'm not gonna criticize that because I think he could get there. I mean, maybe I'm being conservative by saying 8.5, but like I said, the rebounds is the one that he is going to be more important because, they could get eaten alive. If something happens to Jonas and Jaron's got to play extended minutes at the 5 and he's not physically ready for that, it could be pretty bad.
David, it was great seeing you and your mother Saturday in Oxford at the Ole Miss game. You've covered a lot of college football. You were in the stands Saturday. So tell our listeners, Alabama should be real scared in 2 weeks, shouldn't they?
I don't know, man. One, Ole Miss had that running back who just went crazy whenever they gave him the ball. I don't feel like they gave him the ball enough, and I don't even remember his name. But the other thing that I'll say, too, is that, Southeastern Louisiana gave him a skater. But I actually think that Southeastern Louisiana team is actually pretty good for the FCS level because they whooped Jacksonville State in their first game. Jacksonville State's a perennial power at the FCS level, and Southeastern Louisiana handled it to them pretty good. And they've got a bunch of D1 transfers and stuff on their team. So, I mean, I would have been mad if I were an Ole Miss fan and you needed a fourth down stop in the fourth quarter to win. But I don't know. I wouldn't say that it was too bad. I mean, the Southeastern Louisiana obviously punched a little bit above its weight. And there were some questionable play calls by Ole Miss in the second half of that game, but I don't know. To me, it was actually kind of a good win, which I know sounds crazy when you're playing an FCS team, but I thought they looked okay.
He is David Cobb, your read of every day when it comes to the Grizzlies at the Commercial Appeal. Thank you, buddy. We'll talk to you next week.
Thank you, David.
Hey, thanks, guys.
Yeah, I watched a little today, actually, a replay. I guess it was SEC Network of Southeast Louisiana and Ole Miss, and the thing that really surprised me, and maybe we're getting more and more of this because of the equalization of scholarships and better coaches coming into the game, and I think more and more high school players getting better and being ready at the collegiate level. But the line play that I saw from Southeast Louisiana was taking it right to the Ole Miss Rebels.
They had a better offensive line push than Arkansas did the entire game. And late in the year, Central Arkansas and Southeast Louisiana will play in Conway. That'll be a good FCS game.
Speaking of Conway, this portion of the show brought to you by Conway. Not the school, but the great people at Conway Services, heating, cooling, plumbing, electric, and, of course, the tankless. The tankless water heater, my favorite new toy. I got one. I never run out of hot water. That's the great thing. Oh, and by the way, my MLGW bill went down. You know why? Because I'm not heating a 75-gallon tank anymore. I only pay for the water I heat, and I never run out. And I never worry about a tank bursting, which mine did, because there is no tank. It's the newest technology. John and Conway are making it more affordable. It's so simple. 24 months interest fee, and they've lowered the fee, or $250 for the old tank water heater. All you got to do is call 384-3511, 384-3511. That is the Conway Services Heating, Cooling, Plumbing, Electric number. I don't understand this, and I know you've had, going back to the Alabama days, a little relationship with Jeremy Pruitt, and I appreciate that he finally had something good.
I did. My nephew did.
Your nephew did. I could see that he could appreciate the fact that he won a game. And he won a game decidedly, 45-0. And he had been taking a lot of heat. And plenty of people questioned whether or not he could coach. I get that. But after his first win this year, he, at a press conference, unless I saw this out of context, but I just watched the snippet, he basically goes after the press about questioning him about Garantano's abilities to play.
Yeah, I just take my win and move on.
I don't understand why a guy who is on a hot seat, I don't think there's any question, after you lose to Georgia State and then you lose to BYU in a game that you really give away, you win a game and you're going to get arrogant about it? I mean, that's the way it seems sort of to me.
And you got Florida, Georgia, Mississippi State, South Carolina ahead of you.
And when you've got those ahead of you, you would want friends. And, you know, the media is sort of your window to the public. You would want those guys to portray you to the public in a positive way, as positive, gentlemanly way as you possibly can. When you go and attack the people, I mean, what you're not trying to make friends here, I guess. I would want as many friends if I were in his position as I could get. What he just did, or what I perceive it to be, was a pretty silly move. I don't get it.
Well, I call it when you come to the fork in the road and you can either write a nice column about somebody or say something nice about somebody, say something ugly about them, or say nothing at all. He gives them them being the media, every opportunity. When I come to the fork in the road, if I can bash him, I'm going to.
Just did not seem to be the brightest thing I've seen a coach do. We take a break. When we come back, we'll talk with a coach. That would be our man down in Atlanta, John Thompson, on college football. He comes your way next. This hour is presented by Homer Skelton Hyundai in Olive Branch, the marriage made in heaven. That's the marriage of technology, and Hyundai's got the best with great service. This dealership is so good. They're actually making it bigger. Not all Hyundai dealerships are allowed to sell Genesis cars, the luxury car. This one is going to get even more to sell because they are so good at what they do. And when it comes to the product, these Hyundais last forever. So good, they give you this assurance. 10-year, 100,000-mile limited powertrain warranty on every new car. The Santa Fe that I proudly drive, an Elantra, a Veloster, or the G70 looks like a car from James Bond. Go see for yourself. Just get on Lamar, first exit in Mississippi. It's Highway 78 when across the State Line Road. It's Craft Road. Turn left. Go see Chris True and all the gang at Homer Skelton Hyundai in Olive Branch. We take a break, and then to Atlanta we go. John Thompson is next on Sports Time with Wolo and Stats.
Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy get you through the midday with Sports 56 Middays. Delivered by FedEx. Weekdays from 10 till 1 on Sports 56, 96.1 and 87.7.
Hi, this is Troy Five Ash, owner of Five Ash Roofing. As most of you know, I don't have a history of bragging or boasting that Five Ash Roofing is the best roofer in the Memphis area, but did you know we are the only diamond-level roofing professional in the area? We are one of very few local roofing companies that have been in business for 20 years. We've never had a justified claim against us. We are locally owned and family operated. Our labor warranties are for the life of the shingles. We're experts in insurance claim. We do residential and commercial work. We are the official roofer of the University of Memphis Athletic Department and a proud member of the Tigers home team. We support local youth sports and St. Jude's. We have worked with churches and veteran services to help those in need by providing services at a deep discount or even for free. We are currently working with Young Life to give them a free roof on the historic log cabin in Germantown. 5 Ash Roofing. Fair, honest, and ethical. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com.
5 Ash Roofing, it's what we do. We're here for you.
I love fall. The landscape is so beautiful at Town Village Audubon Park. Nestled in the heart of East Memphis, located corner of Park and Cherry, is a beautiful residential neighborhood. Looking for a great place to retire, but you still have a very active lifestyle? Then visit Town Village. Only requirements that you're 55 plus. Prices per month starting at $2,300. Gourmet Chef Drew invites you to visit our restaurant and bistro. Package includes 3 complimentary meals per day, maid service, free local transportation, daily check-in, monthly coffee club, themed dinner parties, lots of fun. Visit us and call Daniel at Town Village Audubon Park at 901-374-7342. There's no place like home. Town Village Audubon Park.
Family Leisure has the world's biggest spa sale going on now. Over 50 spas in stock and ready to sell. $8,000 spas now just $44.99. 4-person spas starting at $24.99. Swim spas from $89.99. Huge discounts on all spas. Get the lowest prices of the year with special financing available. It's the world's biggest spa sale happening now at Family Leisure. Witten Road at I-40, where family and fun come together.
All right, let's pull up over here and drop a line. Hey, your feet wet? My feet are wet. Here's the drain plug. You put the plug in the drain, right? It's on the dock.
There's a reason they say curse like a sailor. Many reasons. Progressive's boat insurance has you covered. Quote today at progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
Right now, you can get 5 cents off every gallon of fuel every day. That's 5 cents off every gallon with Make It Count rewards from Marathon. Plus, you can earn points for additional savings on fuel, airfare, hotels, and more. It's quick and easy to join. Just visit makeitcount.com/radio or download the free app. So start saving today with Make It Count from Marathon. Offer valid only at participating Marathon locations. Marathon, fueling the American spirit.
Looking for great seafood? Head to the Half Shell, voted Memphis's favorite seafood 5 years in a row. Enjoy delicious seafood at the Half Shell for lunch and dinner, along with the Half Shell's extensive new wine list. Or relax at the bar, open daily until 3 a.m. For a great weekend, try Saturday and Sunday brunch at the Half Shell from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. The Half Shell, always Memphis's favorite. Available for private parties, catering, and daily box lunch delivery. The Half Shell, serving full food menu till 2 a.m. daily. 2 locations on Mendenhall and on Winchester.
Got something you want to get off your chest?
You better have a backup plan.
Want to join the conversation?
Someone needs to tell him he has to grow up.
Join us on the First Bank phone lines at 360-8255 or the First Bank text line at 67129. Now, more of Sports Time with Wolo and Stats. This hour of Sports Time is brought to you by Homer Skelton Hyundai. Here once again are Dave Woloshin and Brad Norsworthy.
Welcome back in. Halfway through this Monday edition on another scorcher of a Monday. Wolo and Stats with you, and now joined by our good friend down in Atlanta. John Thompson joins us now. Good afternoon, Coach. How are things down there?
How you doing, Dave? It's a scorcher here, too. I just finished mowing my yard, and it's a scorcher here.
Explain Georgia State. They lose 57-10 to Western Michigan. Does that mean Western Michigan would win by 55 over Tennessee?
Western Michigan was in the Cotton Bowl a few years ago now. Don't forget about that when Roll the Boat was still there. But, that's the Sun Belt, man. You just got to stay consistent. And like I've told you, we got our 10-year reunion coming up in a couple of weeks. I'll get to see that team play live. But Oh man, to compare those scores, and Tennessee could beat a lot of people. They shut somebody out the other day. Their defense must be great, huh? They shut them out. Right?
They shut out UT Chattanooga.
Yeah,
FCS.
that's what I'm saying.
FCS.
Yeah, FCS. I got you. And so was Georgia State. So anyway, but okay. I've got to ask you guys a question. Who's better right now, Arkansas or Ole Miss?
I think Arkansas lost to Ole Miss straight up
8 days ago.
Okay, so you're still saying Ole Miss is better than Arkansas after Arkansas scoring 21 points in the fourth quarter over Colorado State. Ole Miss struggling against whoever it was they played, another FCS. Well, it's not, or they're not even. I think they're Southland Conference, Southeast Louisiana. Frank Selfo, who was a longtime coach and a really good coach in the NFL a while.
I think
did
if it was
some good
10
things.
weeks ago, you might could ask that, but they just played 8 days ago. Are we really going to do that? The shelf life of winning's 8 days?
Stir you guys. Okay, I'm glad to stir you guys up. I was just saying, they both come off wins. Arkansas, I tell you what was impressive about Arkansas, though, is they did respond after a lot of losing. Now, after however many games they've lost, they score. It's 34-34 going into the fourth. They score 21. They come back, and a decent. Things are relative now. A decent Colorado State team that really had them reeling for a long time, but Arkansas's got a solid quarterback there. Arkansas's best quarterback only played half the game against Ole Miss.
They can play anybody they want to play anytime they want to play them.
I hear you.
The scoreboard doesn't matter, John?
Yeah, that's the only thing that is the absolute only thing that matters is the scoreboard.
Well, it sounds like you want to debate instead of letting the scoreboard be the truth teller.
Oh, no, I said who's the better team now. If they played now, not 2 weeks ago.
But we've never played like that. We've never played a game and then played 8 days later.
Well, I'm just saying if, maybe they could get them in the Liberty Bowl, maybe play them again or play.
But who is ever scheduled on the fly like that?
Well, let me ask you, do you think that putting 55 on Colorado State tells you that all the problems that Chad Morris had in the first two games is all done?
No, absolutely not.
Last I looked, Colorado State lost to a Colorado team that isn't really good by giving up 52 points.
Yeah, I'm with you there.
They did beat Western Illinois.
Colorado did beat Nebraska, though. All right, and look, I didn't know I was going to get Brett stirred up that much.
I'm not stirred up at all, John. I just think we play and we play at the time we play, and then to the victor go the spoils.
And it's settled.
But if it's going to be a debate,
yes, sir.
If it's going to be a debate, does last year matter?
No, not at all. Not at all. I'm saying Arkansas is a different team because of what they did.
How different?
Or is Arkansas a different team because they scored 21 in the fourth quarter after giving up all those leads that they did last year and being a team that is down and Missouri, Texas A&M, all the games they lose.
They won't win a game in the SEC.
No, I know it. And they struggled tremendously in the second half. They had no quarterback play. Until this past game, and they actually had a guy that he looked like he could produce and get the ball down the field, threw with some confidence, got the ball to their playmakers. They got some young guys that are going to make mistakes, but Rakeem Boyd is an SEC player. Cheyenne Grady's an SEC player. I'm not saying Arkansas's defense is very good at all. I really think that they've got a lot to prove. They still gave up.
Name three more that are SEC guys that could play for anybody.
I got to stay right there right now. I think McKelvin Akeem can be. I think I agree with you.
Been waiting a while.
Is inconsistent. He's inconsistent, but he can be. I don't see anybody in their secondary that's going to play for anybody else in the league right now. I don't see that.
I'll tell you right now,
I
if
think
they
Boyd and O'Grady.
If they score 21 points in the fourth quarter against Texas A&M, which they have at home in 2 weeks on the 28th, then I might acquiesce to your point. To do that against Colorado State, I'm not that impressed.
No, I got you. I understand, but they got a chance now. And I am not touting the Hawks by any. I'm not touting, but I do see them having a chance. A year ago, 2 years ago, with the quarterback play, where their offensive line was, I think they still struggled in the offensive line the other day.
Where do they win on the SEC road? Kentucky, Alabama, LSU, or A&M?
Nope. They need to come back and play. They don't win anywhere on the SEC. In the SEC, I don't see that. I'm with you, 100% with you. But there is a flicker of hope for this program to get better at Arkansas. I think it's on the upswing, as are the Memphis Tigers. The Memphis Tigers. I mean, when you can play poorly and win like they did, and it's somebody else every game. I mean, you got Gainwell that really is. I mean, when they have an RPO offense like they have, and people try to take the passing game away, and then the running game takes over, it's unbelievable. So I think Memphis is of all of those three teams. And obviously, and Memphis won the game. Memphis is by far the best three. Memphis wins some SEC road games. I will say that.
Memphis.
Ole Miss lost by 5 to Memphis.
That's right. And I think Memphis would win some SEC road games. I think Memphis is a solid football team. Both sides of the ball, coaching, everywhere.
Defense has really come a long, long way.
Their line of scrimmage is good on both sides. They lean on you. I mean, they get some good push, both sides of the football, and they play with confidence. That's the only thing. And I didn't mean to turn this into a Razorback talk, but Arkansas has got a chance to at least play with a little bit of confidence for a while. They had no reason to do that. Now they've got Starkle that did step up in the pocket and threw to some young receivers. They got the ball to the backs. They did some things. They're going to be capable of hanging around longer.
Why didn't he play
winning
sooner?
At A&M? You know what? Here's what when you look at that situation, Brett. I mean, I think that's a good question. But when Arkansas had nobody at quarterback, Ty Story was still around, whatever they had last year, and Ben Hicks, contacts them, or they contact him, and he said, "Hey, I want to play 1 year. I'll come over there and play for you." Don't you think that there was a whole lot of kissing on the neck and really being a lot of sweet talking that went on between Chad Morris and Ben Hicks? You come, you're going to be our quarterback. You'll be the guy. You can make a change in this program. Then all of a sudden, Nick Starkle walks in the room. Oh, and he wants to dance. So now you've got two guys, and you give Ben Hicks every opportunity. He starts the first game. Maybe you promised him he'll start the first game, and he stays.
He started
there,
the second game,
but he started the second game.
He won the first game,
But Starkle is definitely has a stronger arm, has more presence in the pocket, is a better quarterback.
He was the MVP of the Music City Bowl at Texas A&M.
Sure was. Sure. Hey, maybe that's why Kyler Murray transferred. He had Nick Starkle on his team. I don't know about that. I'm just throwing some stuff out there for you guys to think about. Kyler Murray transferred when Nick Starkle was there.
Here's what I want to throw out to you. Cal is ranked 23rd in the country this week in the Amway Coaches Poll.
23rd in AP, too.
And 23rd in the AP. The last I looked, I think Ole Miss was the favorite in this game.
Yeah, it started out. Cal was 2-point favorite, and now Ole Miss is a 1.5 favorite.
How?
Take that up with Vegas, Dave.
No offense exactly to Ole Miss. But what I just saw with the way that line play was with Southeast Louisiana, here's a Cal team. And I'm not saying this is going to be a rout, but I don't understand how Ole Miss is favored in this game. I really do not.
Cal won at Washington.
Yeah, Cal is so much improved and so much better than people think they are on defense. That's the surprise with this Cal team, that they're better. They're much better on defense. That you know that they're going to be able to throw the football, and that's where Ole Miss is struggling in their coverage. To me, it looks like it's going to come down whether Ole Miss can cover, and they've got to play better. They've got to win the special teams, and I don't know where that. You know, that's been real iffy for them this year, but I am very impressed with Cal's defense. And you
Secondary.
know, Wilcox was known for defense when he got the job.
Yeah, he was
And
defense coordinator at
that's
Tennessee.
coming around. That doesn't happen much in California.
Yeah,
defense.
it's really been a role reversal from Sonny Dykes trying to outscore everybody to Justin Wilcox, really playing a tailback tight end, win on defense.
Exactly.
Strategy.
And he's kind of bringing, you know, like Oregon with them bringing a little SEC mentality to that team and that recruiting. I think that Wilcox has done an excellent job recruiting. He's got bigger bodies up front in the trenches, and I think that's where instead of what Sonny Dykes had, you know, from the Hal Mummy and the Mike Leach tree, in just spreading it out all over the field and playing like they do in the Pac-12. This is going to be a more SEC-looking team and a more SEC physical team, especially on defense. And so Ole Miss is going to have to score some points to win this game.
Be fun to watch. All right, so Tennessee wins big. Their coach then blames the media for having the audacity to question them about their quarterback. His Tennessee turned a corner because they shut out. You mentioned it earlier, because they shut out an FCS school.
No, I don't see it yet. I mean, I know, and you're going to come back. Well, you said Arkansas did, and the same thing. But I Tennessee made some things happen. They get the block punt early. And the quarterback did play well. Really did some good things in the game against them. But that was just a pure mismatch. I mean, you throw Georgia State out. BYU's a pretty good football team. Okay, in what they've done the last couple of weeks. So you can say that BYU was as good or maybe better than Tennessee. All right, to come into Neyland and win like that. Now, no, there's never an excuse for Tennessee to lose to Georgia State like that and getting whipped, you know, at the line of scrimmage. But no, I don't think you can say that about Tennessee yet. The point that I'm because Tennessee, it was a mismatch on all 11 all day long against Chattanooga. What I'm saying against Arkansas, they played a team very similar in talent in Colorado State, but they won in a different way. To come back with the score being 34-34 going into the fourth quarter, Arkansas winning like that. Tennessee did not have that. Tennessee jumps out ahead early, and it's a cakewalk the whole day long. And and Chattanooga's knowing, hey, we're getting our tail beat. We're looking at the scoreboard like, let's get home. And Tennessee is having fun and playing better. I think those are two completely different scenarios when you're evaluating a team in how they won the football game on Saturday afternoon.
Johnny, quickly, pick a winner between Georgia and Notre Dame.
You know what? Georgia's so good in the offensive line, Brett. They're doing everything. Jake Fromm is playing so well. They can run the football. Their receivers have come on. Their defense is good. I don't think Ian Book, the quarterback for Notre Dame, is. I think that they'll get to him if they get pressure on him. It may not even be close. I think Georgia is one, if not the best team in the country. They're definitely one of the top three teams in the country. I got to go with Georgia, and I don't think the game's going to be close. I really don't.
He is John Thompson. He's our feisty today. Our feisty
Enjoy
coach.
the ball.
Down in Atlanta.
I brought my man to the table today. I like that.
I'm glad they tore the goalpost down over Colorado State.
And they did. What was it, Club Dub? They turn out the lights in the dressing room and get their phones up and dance. Club Dub. Did you see that?
That's what they do at the big Grapevine Stephenville games.
Okay.
Oh,
Okay.
Brett going
Yeah.
on the attack. Thank you, John. We appreciate it. That's our coach down in Atlanta, John Thompson. Brought to you in part by the Spirit Shop, and we will be at the Spirit Shop
next Wednesday,
a week from this coming Wednesday. We always love going there and seeing Eddie Connor and his family. They've been running that place for a long time. Eddie's been involved since 1969. They've been serving the finest of spirits and the best of the bargains when it comes to spirits since 1969 at that perfect spot right there at Poplar and St. Nick, 4646 Poplar Avenue. It is a fun place to go and visit. You walk in, you see this little log cabin right down from Clark Tower. You go, wait a second. How much stuff can they have in there? And then you walk in, and you see this feat of engineering. I mean, it is a marvelous feat because from the floor to the ceiling, you will see more product than you've ever seen anywhere. I mean, a lot of these big stores, they don't have as much as they have in this little log cabin. It's really cool. And the great thing is that Eddie Connor will show you premium or maybe someday premium brands. He'll talk with you about wine, or he'll talk with you about tequila, or he'll talk with you about vodka. He knows the history on all of it. If you want interaction and just to hear stories about all the great spirits, this is your place, Poplar and St. Nick. And come join us a week from Wednesday. All the accessories you need to, and beer and everything else, all at the Spirit Shop. Back in a minute, we'll do a little style coming your way on Sports Time with Wolo and Stats.
Search Sports 56 on Facebook and give us a like. And follow us on Twitter at Sports 56 WHBQ.
Bartlett Small Engine has been serving quality power equipment since 1970. They have a full line of power equipment, parts, and services for most makes and models. Bartlett Small Engines has the best brands in the power tool industry: Honda mowers, trimmers, and generators, Steel blowers, trimmers, and chainsaws, Echo trimmers, blowers, and chainsaws, plus quality products from Red Mat and Shindawa. And they're all American made. Bartlett Small Engine is your can-do store. 6780 Summer Avenue. Call 901-386-9779.
Jim Gray from Westwood One with a Monday Night Football preview, sponsored by Prilosec OTC. Kick your antacid habit with Prilosec OTC. The 50th season of Monday Night Football celebrates the anniversary of the first game with the same matchup. The New York Jets hosting the Cleveland Browns. The Jets will be without quarterback Sam Darnold due to mononucleosis. For Cleveland, they look to bounce back from a 30-point beatdown by the Titans. Baker Mayfield says they just need to put that one behind them.
It's game one of a long season. You know, to get to where we want to go, you're going to have bumps in the road. I'm not going to let it define us and see what type of men we have in this locker room. And I'm pretty sure I have a good, idea about it.
Kevin Harlan and Tony Baselli will have the call when the Jets host the Browns on Monday Night Football.
Remember to listen to Westwood One's coverage of the NFL all season long, right here on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56, 96.1, and 87.7.
As a jet car racer, Elaine Larson has had interesting experiences.
I hit a wall at 280 miles an hour.
While most of us don't race jet cars, we get that life comes with risk. But retirement shouldn't. Elaine purchased an annuity to secure a protected income stream for the rest of her life, so her money won't stop working when she does. Find out more at retireyourrisk.org. Brought to you by the Alliance for Lifetime Income, the sole sponsor of the 2019 Rolling Stones No Filter U.S. Tour.
Do you have frequent heartburn, like the kind of heartburn where you stash antacids everywhere? You feel like you gotta have those chalky tablets just in case heartburn strikes. If that's you, you do know that there's an easier way to deal with heartburn, right? Prilosec OTC. Just one pill a day will last a full 24 hours with zero heartburn. With Prilosec OTC, you can actually simply not get heartburn in the first place. No more stashing antacids. Try Prilosec OTC. One pill a day, 24 hours, zero heartburn. It's possible with Prilosec OTC. Use as directed for 14 days to treat frequent heartburn, not for immediate relief.
All right, let's pull up over here and drop a line. Hey, your feet wet? My feet are wet. Here's the drain plug. You put the plug in the drain, right? It's on the dock.
There's a reason they say curse like a sailor. Many reasons. Progressive's boat insurance has you covered. Quote today at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
The one thing that separates Third and Court from traditional diners is that the food is created by Chef Ryan Trim. Chef Trim makes everything special and original. They're the Dunk Sammies. They come on hoagie-style bread, but what they're served in is what makes them different. The loaded grilled cheese has pesto and bacon, but the fact that it is served in a bowl of house tomato soup makes it unique. Just like the Not Your Ballpark Dog, an all-beef hot dog with house kraut served in a bowl of barbecue frijole charros. It's traditional and original at the same time. It's Third and Court.
New Life Medical Center has moved to a new, larger location that allows them to better serve their patients. I go to New Life Medical Center for testosterone replacement therapy, which is one of many things they do. They also treat erectile dysfunction and can relieve the pain of joint injuries with stem cell and platelet-rich plasma treatments. They also take care of patients with diabetes, high blood pressure, sick visits, and much more with no appointment necessary and minimal wait times. New Life Medical Center is now at 9160 Highway 64. That's just off I-40. Stop in and see what they can do for you.
Now, more of Sports Time with Wolo and Stats. This hour of Sports Time is brought to you by Homer Skelton Hyundai. Here once again are Dave Woloshin and Brad Norsworthy.
When you say style in this town, it means ghouls, and we have our ghoul style segment every Monday at this time. All the great locations in the greater Memphis area, Ghouls is never far away from downtown on Main to out east at Park Place, where the Ghouls Academy is located now in Olive Branch, and one of the big parts of the renaissance of the square, the Ghouls location in Overton Square. Massage, body treatments, facials, or just a simple haircut. You can get it all with the superior spa services and salon services at Ghouls. Very well-earned reputation built over 87 years of exemplary service. Mr. Sam Gould opened with just a barbershop in 1932, and the powerhouse was born. It continues today as a family operation, still with that upscale ambiance, superior customer service, 450 Ghouls employees to serve your every need. All the great locations, and coming up at this time of year for any of the holidays, for any time of the year, the Ghouls gift card is the best way to go. You cannot go wrong for anniversaries, birthdays, weddings, holidays, just to make someone feel so very special. Ghouls makes the perfect gift for that someone special. Follow them on Twitter at Ghoul Salons or their website, ghoulsalons.com. For me, it starts with TB12. Tom Brady, 2 games in, and the Patriots are winning by a combined 76-3. 33-3 week 1, 43-0 week 2. Now, it will get tougher than Pittsburgh and Miami. Miami's awful.
Well, Pittsburgh, although they've always struggled, it seems, with Brady and with New England, but that was a team a lot of people thought would win their division.
I had them in the Super Bowl.
Oh, you had them in the
Texter's already called me out for jinxing them.
Well, you really jinxed poor Ben, apparently.
You jinxed Drew Brees.
I did.
Drew Barrett jinxed Drew Brees.
It's not my fault. It's Dave's fault. He's the play-by-play guy. He controls outcomes.
I understand. Yeah, that's my fault.
Who's got style according to you, Dave?
I'm going to say that the Memphis Football Tigers have a new style that we haven't seen like this before. It's called depth. So I will give you that in this football game, the University of Memphis used 10 offensive linemen, and they used 12 defensive linemen.
And there was a time that if they used 10 offensive linemen, it was hide your eyes. It was a disaster.
Well, some of those second-teamers were being used when the game was on the line. It was so hot that they had to rotate guys. I'm talking 3s and maybe a 4 in there that came in on the defensive line. It was impressive that they never lost any ground when they brought in seconds and 3s. That has never been the case before.
The Navy atmosphere should be electric, shouldn't it? It should feel like the Southern Heritage Classic and AutoZone Liberty Bowl feel on game day. It should feel that big coming up in a couple Thursdays.
If it feels like it did for the Ole Miss game, and this is a conference game.
I think it'd be bigger because
it's a divisional game. I'm just saying to you, that atmosphere, you weren't there for Tiger Walk because you were doing your duties for the Ole Miss Rebels. I went through it. I'm telling you,
want it just like that
atmosphere, if it's better than that, I'd take it. But if it's the same, I'll love it.
In this town, style means Ghouls, and for all the holidays, for all the anniversaries, the Ghouls gift card, it's the way to go. Again, follow them on Twitter at Ghouls Salons or their website, ghoulsalons.com.
And this portion of the show also brought to you by the Commissary. That's the Germantown Commissary, where we've got two. You go to high school football games, you want a quick way to have a tailgate heaven, you stop by the drive-thru. They've got a drive-thru for the Germantown Commissary in Collierville, 3 times as big as the old one, but still the same old great food. Slow, Memphis-style cooking, hickory smoke, same ribs, same pulled shoulder, same party packs, same 6-packs, same great ownership. Really, this one in Collierville you got to see. It's a great place to go watch football games. They got rooms with TVs in there. They got a patio that is really cool when it cools off. Sometimes there'll be music. A lot of times you'll just watch football there. It's the way to go. We got 2 of them now. Germantown Commissary, still in Germantown, still great stuff there. And then there's the new one in Collierville, right at Poplar and Houston Levee Road. Go check it out for your tailgate needs next week. Use that drive-thru. Germantown Commissary, back in just 1 minute. We'll talk more college football with Barrett Jones, who did the Clemson football game. He's next on Sports Time with Wolo and Stats.
At CarMax, when we say we buy all the cars, we mean it. Over the last 20 years, we've purchased millions of cars from coast to coast. In the last year alone, we bought a mountain of Mercurys, an armada of Nissans, a ton of Titans, an ocean of Pacificas, and a sea of Siennas. Not to mention a few Hellcats and a couple of Tornadoes. So no matter what you're selling, CarMax is buying. And we'll buy your car even if you don't buy ours. CarMax, we buy all the cars.
Hi, this is Troy Five-Ash, owner of Five-Ash Roofing. It's an exciting time to be a Memphis Tiger fan, and we at Five-Ash Roofing have decided to share our excitement. We are proud members of the Tigers home team, which means we sponsor the Tigers athletic department, and we're also season ticket holders to both the football and basketball programs. We will be giving away 2 and sometimes 4 tickets to most of the games this coming year. To have a chance at winning the tickets, find our Facebook page, like, and share our post. The more you share, the more chances you have to win. We also want to give away some tickets to those who wouldn't otherwise get a chance to go. So, you can go to memphisroofer.com or fiveash.com and send us a note why you or someone you know should get the tickets. And as always, Five-Ash Roofing is fair, honest, and ethical. We're experts in all forms of roofing for both residential and commercial buildings. Five-Ash Roofing, 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com.
Five-Ash Roofing, it's what we do. We're here for you.
Starlight Lounge presents An Evening with the Progressive Box.
Adios, old friend. Yeah, I've got no secrets and no regrets. Well, a lot of regrets, but the point is I've got nothing to hide. Kind of like the way Progressive shows you their competitors' rates. You gotta put it all out there, baby. Excuse me, miss. Does this heart belong to you? Would you like it anyway?
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Comparisons not available in all states or situations. Prices vary based on how you buy.
Dive into an ocean of delicious possibilities at Ocean Blue Seafood and Bar, 6600 Stage Road at Kirby Whitten and Bartlett. Mouthwatering boiled crab legs, crawfish, shrimp, clams, mussels, and more. Want a working lunch that won't slow you down? It's Ocean Blue. Ocean Blue features the wettest happy hour in town with $3 specials all afternoon long. For lunch, dinner, or a seaside sundowner, it's Ocean Blue Seafood and Bar, 6600 Stage Road at Kirby Whitten and Bartlett. Take the plunge into Ocean Blue today.
Introducing Top Tracer Range, the new ball tracking and gaming system at Golf and Games Family Park. Top Tracer gathers data such as distance, carry, ball speed, and more. Compete against friends in a points game, long drive, and virtual golf at courses such as Pebble Beach and St. Andrews. Golf and Games Family Park is a great setting for group and company outings, golf lessons, or individual practice. Experience fun, friends, family, and introducing Top Tracer Range, the new ball tracking and gaming system at Golf and Games Family Park, 5484 Summer Avenue.
Hey, Tiger fans, this is John Stacy of the Blue and Gray Show. You can hear Drew Barrett and I talk Tigers with Tigers every Sunday at 5 right here on Sports 56, 96.1, and 87.7. Drew, who do we got in the studio with us this week?
This week will be our family show as we have former Tigers Ray and Sam Kraft
in studio with John and I as we look towards Navy and talk the family tradition of Tiger football.
Thanks, Drew. We'll be here Sunday on Sports 56, 96.1 and 87.7, the Blue and Gray Show, where we talk Tigers with Tigers.
We are Sports 56 WHBQ Memphis, WIVG-FM Tunica Memphis, and WPG-FLP Memphis, Flynn Broadcasting Stations. Welcome back to Sports Time with Wolo and Stats. This hour of Sports Time is brought to you by DeSoto Auto Sales. Here once again are Dave Wolosian and Brett Norsworthy.
We talk college football with Barrett Jones. He was on the announced team Saturday for Clemson over Syracuse. A lot of people during the summer, like me, thought that would be a game. It wasn't. Clemson won big. We visit with Barrett about that game and all the college football scene. This hour brought to you by DeSoto Auto Sales, where they specialize in late model cars with low mileage. They have the highest standards in the car industry. All the cars test-driven, checked out head to toe at DeSoto Auto Sales with an unlimited inventory, every make, every model. And if it's not on the lot, they'll go out and find it for you. No shortcuts at DeSoto Auto Sales, where you walk in and you're treated like family by kind, courteous employees, laid-back, down-home environment. And they care about your time and want you to enjoy the ultimate car experience. You walk in, meet with your sales rep, test drive your car, credit approved, paperwork finished, all in about 45 minutes. We're living in a world today that time matters, and they know that at DeSoto Auto Sales. Check out the referrals online at DeSotoAutoSales.com, 5704 Goodman Road, 662-890-7184. Come on down to DeSoto Auto Sales on Goodman Road for that town and country experience at DeSoto Auto Sales.
Barrett Jones is going to join us as he does in this time slot every week. And I know we're going to talk about the Clemson and the Syracuse game, but I got to start with Julio Jones because he played with Julio Jones. And last night on a 4th and 3, when Atlanta had to have something happen, Jones came up with the big play that won the game. Now, that left tackle that just decimated a defensive back was pretty impressive. But my goodness, what a great athlete Julio Jones is, Barrett.
Well, what's up, guys? And you're totally right, man. Julio is one of my all-time favorites that I ever played with. A really quiet guy, but just a extremely hard worker and a guy that everyone on the team really loved and appreciated, just because obviously you see a lot of guys at Alabama come in with 5-star credentials and that are big recruits. But he came in and just immediately put his head down and started working. And I always tell a story about just when we have sprints after practice, like when everyone was tired and had practiced all day, we used to have to run these 40s, and he would just running just as fast at the end of practice as he was at the beginning and running every single one full speed and oftentimes winning those sprints. And he was a really hard worker and a guy that was always a great leader and a great guy to play with. So you love to see a guy like that have so much success in the NFL. And you knew if he could stay healthy that he was going to have a great career because he is an absolute.
You've said through the years to me that of all the athletes you've been around, he was probably the most talented.
Yeah, he is so talented, and we had another pretty good one when I was a senior. I had Amari Cooper, but Julio is just physically just such a specimen. It's hard to compare anyone to him.
Last night, ESPN Stats and Info, they tweeted this, and it said Julio Jones reached a max speed of 20.70 miles per hour on his go-ahead 54-yard receiving touchdown, according to Next Gen Stats. That's his third fastest max speed as a ball carrier on a scoring play since Next Gen has tracked it starting in 2016. So when y'all were running those 40s, he was going 20 miles per hour, Barrett.
Well, I would dare to say that that's probably just a jog for him, honestly. I mean, I think he can open it up even more than that. I mean, the guy, he wasn't even really being chased. Like, he's got a next gear in there that a lot of guys don't have. So he is very, very fast. And, somehow he's still a little bit underrated. I saw that before the season, people were talking about the best receiver in the NFL and all these different names were mentioned. And, not a whole lot of mention of Julio. And he just had like 1,400 yards plus for the last 3 or 4 seasons. I mean, the guy's incredible and still doesn't get enough credit, I don't think, just for how awesome he's been.
Since you bring it up in those terms, 20.7 miles per hour, which is just unfathomable. But what did a guy, let's say Bob Hayes, who was the fastest sprinter in the world at the time, Willie Gault, Ben Johnson, if we want to really talk about
Ronaldo Nehemiah.
What are those guys running at? Do you know?
I don't know.
I bet you it's got to be like
I actually looked that up once, and I think the fastest speed ever recorded is Usain Bolt. I don't have it's one you can get Drew to Google it there in the back, but I want to say that Usain Bolt reached I want to say it was like 26 miles an hour or something that he reached, but something ridiculous. But I mean, that was also in 100, so
right.
He had a lot of time to kind of build up his speed, and I'm sure that was towards the end. And that obviously Julio was running a 50 in pads with a ball in his hand.
That's right. Julio did not. I mean, Usain did not have any padding or a helmet or anything on him.
And in high school for Foley, he got every tackle made on defense, and they had Robert Lester back there with him.
Yeah, he was a beast, man. I'm telling you, a special player. Like you encounter a lot of guys in the league and in college that are really talented, and then you encounter some guys who are moderately talented but are just really hard workers. And then the guys who are the Hall of Famers are just that really unique breed of guys who are really, really hard workers and are also extremely talented. Those are the guys who end up, having their busts in Canton because it's just a unique combination. Because, a guy like Julio, I mean, you got to think about it. He's been a big deal since he was probably like a freshman or sophomore in high school. I mean, people have known his name. He's such a big recruit. And so a lot of times with that comes just kind of a entitlement, complacency. It's just hard to find that unique personality that even amidst everyone kind of worshiping the ground he walks on, he's still going to go out there and grind every day to get better, and he's found a way to do it.
So you did the Clemson and Syracuse game on ESPN radio, and we thought this game would be, especially coming into the season, a really good one. Syracuse, I think, had already shown us they're not quite as good as they were. Is this a combination of Clemson just being even better maybe than we thought, or Syracuse worse than we thought, or how does that work?
Well, I mean, I think it's certainly more the second. I mean, I don't think anyone thought Clemson was a slouch coming into the season. You obviously look at the past 2 years, and this was a more competitive, probably the most competitive game on Clemson's regular season schedule the past few years. But, there's a lot of factors in this game. First of all, let's start with Syracuse. Again, Syracuse certainly not as good as everyone thought they were. I mean, as much as I respect Mike Locksley and the job he's already doing at Maryland, let's not discount the fact that they did follow up that big win over Syracuse with a loss to Temple, right? So, I mean, that was an upset, but still, I mean, they've got a long way to go as a program. And Syracuse allowed 650 yards, including 354 rush yards to these guys. So, the Syracuse is really struggling, and they're maybe not exactly what we thought they were. Now, let me talk about Clemson, because I do think there was one thing that really surprised me about Clemson, and I think that's their defense is so much better than I expected. I really wasn't sure.
Me too.
Losing 4 guys in the first few rounds. I mean, you're talking about some, I think it was 3 first rounders and a 4th rounder maybe that they lost, and somehow they just found a way to reload. And I could talk about this for the entire segment, but Brent Venables, the defensive coordinator at Clemson, is really just a defensive savant. Like, if you haven't watched Clemson this year, just understand how rare this is. That last year with those 4 defensive linemen, they played a 4-3 scheme, obviously trying to get those 4 guys in the field. This year they've totally switched schemes, and now they're playing really a 3-3-5 primarily, where they have 3 linebackers and 5 defensive backs on the field at all times, including they have this guy number 11, Isaiah Simmons, who I don't even know what you call him. He's a 6'3", 220-pound monster or 230 maybe, that lines up at linebacker, safety, and DN. So he's all over the field. I mean, they're moving, and I mean, every offensive line they've played has been so confused because it's just a really difficult scheme to prepare for, the way Brent Venables is running. He didn't blitz much last year, and now he's got him coming from everywhere. So all that to say, incredible job by him of just using his personnel. Trevor Lawrence has been a little sloppy early, but he'll be fine. They have so many talented receivers. Like, this Clemson roster is stacked and loaded, and again, it's obviously Georgia's good, LSU's good, but if you press me on it right now, like you did week 1, it's just hard for me not to see the Bama Clemson rematch coming. Clemson's got a cakewalk to the playoff. I mean, I told them on the radio, you might as well go ahead and just book your Atlanta tickets, because they're going to be the 1 seed, and they'll get the choice, and they'll take Atlanta as their semifinal destination. So if you're a Clemson fan, might as well save yourself some money and go ahead and book a room there at the Omni.
Yeah, it doesn't look like they might even be challenged the rest of the way. Barrett, on Saturday, Alabama wins by 24 in 444 through the air and 5 touchdown passes for Tua Tagovailoa. but rarely for Alabama, especially since 2008 and the start of this dynasty, Alabama won a game without winning the rushing battle, outrushed by South Carolina. It's hard to imagine that Alabama's not very good in short yardage right now, but they don't really have to be that good because they're kind of using the pass as their short yardage offense.
Yeah, it is really weird to watch, and it's almost just kind of like they've embraced it. And I think the middle three is got a ways to go. I mean, there's certainly been some missed assignments in the running game. There's guys unblocked. They're not getting a whole lot of push, and there's some good players in there. I know there's been some injuries, some guys shifting around, moving positions. I do think the tackles are pretty good, and that really lends itself, especially in the passing game, to more success where you're able to throw it with some good guys on the edge and Leatherwood and Jedrick Wills. But they're going to have to get it worked out because there's a time in everyone's schedule where you have to run the football in a big situation, and when you don't run it successfully in weeks, even when you don't need it, it has a way of coming back to bite you when you need it. Because there's a time where you need the run game, and so I know that Coach Saban knows that. He's the one that taught it to me. So I know that he's not going to be satisfied with the run game in its current state, and he's going to want to get it going. But it was very odd to sort of see the way it all panned out, because I really thought they'd come into this game working harder to establish the run game, and when it didn't work early. Now, obviously, the inverse of that is that the pass game was working extremely well, and Tua really probably could have put up many more points if he had wanted to. I mean, the guy's playing at an extremely high level right now, with obviously a ton of weapons around him. So if you can't stop that, I guess the logic is why go away from it. But I know Coach Saban, and I know he's going to want to get at least a semblance of a run game established at some point this year.
You mentioned Loxley and that offense at Maryland getting stymied by Temple. Temple is really a good physical defensive team, and they play the likes of Penn State quite often because they're in the same state. Are we seeing maybe a little more national respect, since you're a national guy now, for the American? 5 undefeated teams, by the way, in that league so far.
I think there's definitely some respect, and as much as I have nothing against the American. I've said on the show before, I root openly for Memphis in most of their games, but the one team in the American I don't like is especially as an SEC guy, primarily is UCF, and just because they're always sounding off and making a lot of noise. But look, you got to give credit where credit's due. And look, Stanford's not a very good football team right now. I had them 2 weeks ago against USC, and they got a lot of issues right now. But that's the team that was on the field in front of UCF, and not only did they beat them, they blew the doors off of Stanford. I mean, it was not close. They were a much better football team, and so hey, they're playing their schedule the way it plays out, and it was a very, very impressive showing. And I wasn't sure what to expect out of UCF with, obviously Mackenzie Milton's gone, and just kind of wondering what they would look like this year. I know they lost some guys defensively as well, but man, they've done a fantastic job of just reloading, and they looked pretty sharp in that game. So, one game I've got circled on my schedule is that Memphis UCF. I can't wait to watch that game. And
that would be an AAC championship.
That would only be in the championship.
Yeah, no regular season.
Okay, well there you go.
In the regular season. But they're a story when you consider they've now scored 30-plus points in 29 straight games, and now they have 3 quarterbacks. They got this true freshman, Dylan.
And to do it over 2 offensive-minded coaches, Frost and Heupel.
Yeah, Dylan Gabriel and the Winbush, the kid that transferred from Notre Dame, and Mack, not to mention Mackenzie Milton, who I don't know if he'll ever play again. But those 3 guys are now all eligible to play. I think Mack is back and almost healthy.
Here's your AAC note. Trask, that came in for Florida, this coming Saturday will be the first time he has started a college football game since 9th grade, because when he started his 10th grade season, he was playing behind Derek King at Houston and never got in except in kind of mop-up duty.
Wow, that's a good stat, because I'll use that this weekend, Brett. I'm calling Tennessee, Florida in Gainesville. And so another game that wasn't what we thought it would be at the beginning of the season, where we thought we'd probably have 2 undefeated teams. But, I have a weird feeling, and I don't know exactly why, but I have a weird feeling that Florida's going to be just fine with Kyle Trask. I'm just talking to guys around the facility. People like him as a player, and I think a lot of people kind of wanted to see him get an opportunity, because you said it. He really hasn't really had an opportunity to shine and kind of show who he was. If you remember a few years back, he was it was a pretty tight quarterback competition with him and Felipe, and then Trask got injured. Felipe kind of won the job by default in some ways, and then obviously he made some plays last year and kind of cemented that job. So I kind of think Florida's going to be fine. Felipe, obviously it's awful for anybody to get injured. He was not having a great year. I think that Kyle Trask is going to come in and do just fine.
And that game Saturday in Gainesville, 11 o'clock, that used to be, for most of the 90s, that was the Super Bowl of the SEC in September, and now that game has really lost its luster, and mostly because of Tennessee's ineptness.
Well, that's very true, and you hate to see it because when I was a kid, I remember that was such a huge game, and I guess that's the same time because not to make you feel old, Brett, but I was a kid in the 90s. I was born in the 90s, so
I understand.
That was a huge game, and just always the one you circled on whatever it was, the fourth week of the season or so, and I hate to see. I love big traditional games. I love the history of college football, and so I'm just excited that a rivalry for that with so much tradition and history. And I know that there'll still be some good old fashioned hate between these two guys when the ball's kicked off. And who knows? I mean, you have all the cliches about rivalry games where throw out the record books and all that stuff. And sometimes cliches are cliches for a reason, and we'll see if Tennessee can put up a fight against Florida.
I know you have a relationship back from Alabama with Jeremy Pruitt. What do you think he is going through now? Because I watched a press conference with him the other day after they won, and he was fairly snarly, in particular to those that might have criticized the way
besieged.
he had handled Garantano. What is he losing it a little bit? What is your take on Jeremy Pruitt?
I don't think he's losing it. I mean, look, when you're in a situation like that, I'll be honest, I've never been in a situation quite like that, but I have been in a situation in the NFL where it felt like the coaches were going to lose their jobs and that kind of thing. It's not fun. It's fun to go to work every day, and so you have a little bit of a shorter fuse, and it is really hard because you want to tune out the outside noise, but it's very difficult. I like Coach Pruitt a lot, and I really am surprised by this. Not because I thought they had great players. I never really thought they had great players. I think they're getting better players, but I thought they really had assembled a pretty good staff. I mean, a little surprised with Jim Chaney, who I really respect as a coordinator, that this offense hasn't been able to be a little more coherent. I know the O-line has really struggled again for, it seems like, the thousandth year in a row over there in Orange. And I know it's frustrating to see, and they have a lot of freshmen playing. And, there's just a lot of frustration, and it's tough to do your job. And the question is, will you be able to kind of keep the team's confidence and go and sort of their will and hope going? Because I do think they have better players than they had last year overall, and they were able to find a way to beat some teams last year. So the question is, will they kind of have a resurgence a little bit, play more competitively, and maybe find a way to beat a few teams that they should? I mean, remember last year they beat Auburn and they beat Kentucky,
yes,
kind of out of nowhere. Right. So who knows what will happen this year? We'll just have to see.
They also lost to Vanderbilt, though, with a bowl on the line. So we shall see. How do you –
Debbie Downer over here. I'm trying to focus on the positives.
I gotcha. Well, you poke some positives now then, and you got this game. Break down Tennessee and Florida for us.
Well, like I said, I think Florida will win. I think they have better players, and defensively, that'll be the best unit on the field. There's still some really good players on that Florida defense, and namely Jabari Zuniga, a defensive end for Florida, and C.J. Henderson, who will be one of the top cornerbacks probably taken in next year's draft. So they've got some really good football players, especially on that side, and a lot of really experienced playmakers. And I think that offensive line for Tennessee will really struggle against that front for Florida. So I think that maybe it'll be a little bit closer than people think for a few quarters, but in the end, I think Florida will win it pretty convincingly.
Rare weekend last weekend in the SEC, Barrett. Mississippi State did the unthinkable. They got beat while out-rushing and out-passing Kansas State, had the same number of turnovers, same number of penalties, and they're at home and they lose the game. But here's the rare weekend. The team that passed for more yards went 9-2. The team that rushed for more yards, 7-4. That's rare in the SEC.
That is very rare, and I think, if I'm not mistaken, wasn't there a kickoff return for a touchdown in that game? So that
yes, there was.
Perfect.
Yeah,
I think Kansas State returned one. So that's probably part of that disparity. But hey, you have to respect the young freshman. I can't remember his name from Mississippi State who came in, and he had a heck of an effort there to pull off the helicopter. Almost got the first down there at the end, and now he's turned into a great meme on Twitter where everyone has gotten to see his helicopter where he sold out for the team. So that was a disappointing loss. I really thought Mississippi State would find a way to win that game. I do think Kansas State is better than people think. I've got a lot of respect for their coaching staff coming over from North Dakota State, but I think that they're a little better than people thought. But I was still disappointed in Mississippi State that they didn't find a way to win that game.
Well, is that quarterback Tommy Stevens injured, or is he just not playing
got
that
hurt
well?
Last 2 weeks in both games, and the play of the year on the backup on the helicopter play. If he had not landed like he landed, he would have broken every bone in his body.
Yeah, well, he was an athlete in the air. You got to adjust up there when you're in helicopter mode.
And he was way up there.
Pad.
He was way up there.
He was way up there. I mean, I think he got a full, I can't even count that high, Brett. I mean, past the 360, on up to a 540 or something.
Yeah.
So he was turning up there in the air.
No doubt about that. As always, we thank you, and good luck. That game is in the Swamp, isn't it?
In Gainesville.
It is in the Swamp, and I'll have one eye that afternoon turned to the Notre Dame Georgia game. That's the one I'm really excited about. That one should be a lot of fun.
And it will be swampy Saturday morning in the Swamp with this heat and humidity we're playing in. About as hot as September as I can ever remember for college football.
It will certainly be swampy. There's no doubt about it. And but I am excited just to get the chance to call a game there. I think that'll be really neat.
It'll be fun.
Just a cool venue. I've played there once, and a really special place for college football. So I think I'll be jacked up. I hope the fans are up early and get going. So because it is, like you said, still a very historic game and historic rivalry.
Thank you, Barrett. We appreciate it. Safe travels. We'll talk to you next Monday.
Sounds good, guys.
Thank you.
That is Barrett Jones, who's getting to see a lot of great places now as his broadcast career just begins. This portion of the show brought to you by Campbell Clinic. I talk about this with high school football. You're always looking for the best guy to take care of your kids, aren't you? Whether that's a high school football player or your daughter at recess.
Take care of anybody in your family. You want the
Bumps
best.
and bruises always occur. Don't you want the very best? And that is exactly what Campbell Clinic provides. 6 pediatric doctors, 6 pediatric orthopedists. Do you realize that nobody else has any? This is the specialty place. These are the folks that have been taking care of us forever when it comes to orthopedics. All you got to do is go online, CampbellClinic.com, and make an appointment. It's that easy. In some cases, if you have an emergency, you don't even have to wait. But if you want to take care of your team, your family, there's one place to consider because they've got the pediatric orthopedic doctors. That is Campbell Clinic.
And our preseason bet on Alabama in the first 5 games, winning by an average of 38.
I've
you
done
know what
it.
it's falling on right now.
I know what it is exactly. It's 40. They average 52 points a game scored, and they average giving up 12. I just did the math.
No, they've won games by 38 points exactly so far. They won by 33. They won by 52. And they won by 24. No, they won opening week by 39.
I just did the math.
39, 52, and 24. That's 115. 3 into 115, 38.
They've scored 157 points so far.
Mm-hmm.
I divided that by 3. That comes to 52 and a third points per game.
Mm-hmm.
They've given up 36. Divided by 3, that's 12. If you do 52 minus 12.
That's 38.
Well, and by my math, 52 minus 12 is 40.
Yeah. That difference is, but the margin of victory has been 38. That was the wager. They would win by an average of 38.
Well, we actually originally averaged 40.
And I negotiated 2 down.
Yeah, I think you're at 40 anyway. If the team is averaging 52 points a game and they're giving up 12.
How many you got them giving up on?
I've given up 36.
Okay.
And they scored 157. So I feel better about the bet because it should be 40.
Did you see how South
and it's
Carolina
there
scored
right now.
at the end? On the last play of the game.
How long is a game?
60 minutes.
Okay. That's all I'm saying.
So Ole Miss and Southern Miss, the next two for Alabama.
Come on, Rebels.
And Southern Miss. 40-point underdog.
Southern Miss is not good. Southern Miss. Let me just take a quick look here.
It's not good.
Southern Miss, so far, this year, has given up 38 points at Mississippi State and 42 at Troy. They scored 47.
I think Bama's 40-point favorite over them. So if they just cover the point spread, it helps my margin.
Well, I hope one of two things occur. That Southern Miss and Ole Miss plays a great game against those two, and it comes down, or that it's over 40, so I don't feel like I was taken
230 CBS for
to
Ole
the
Miss,
bank
Alabama.
on negotiations.
I think CBS wants Alabama, don't you?
Alabama, Ole Miss, 230?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It could be a massacre, as you just said. We take a break. Back in just a minute. A new feature, Monday Night Greatness. We'll explain in just a minute.
Get happy with Johnny Radio's Happy Hour. Weekday afternoons from 1 till 3 on Sports 56, 96.1, and 87.7.
Kevin Harlan and Tony Baselli here from Westwood One with a preview of Monday Night Football, sponsored by Prilosec OTC. Kick your antacid habit with Prilosec OTC. Coming up, it's a clash of two teams with greatly increased expectations for this year. The Cleveland Browns at the New York Jets. Tony?
Kevin, those expectations usually follow big offseason signings, and both teams certainly had those. Odell Beckham Jr. is now in Cleveland with Baker Mayfield, but boy, they need a much better performance after last week's 30-point loss to the Tennessee Titans. And for the Jets, tough loss against the Buffalo Bills, and it's even going to get tougher now with Le'Veon Bell nursing a sore shoulder and Sam Darnold out with mono.
Look forward to being with you, Tony, when the Jets take on the Browns here on Monday Night Football.
Remember to listen to Westwood One's coverage of the NFL all season long, right here on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56, 96.1, and 87.7.
Family is big around here. We're family-owned, family-operated, family-managed. And that means legacy. That means dependability. That means using Grainger. With over 1.5 million products and knowledgeable product experts, Grainger has whatever we need. And with same-day pickup and next-day delivery options, they have it whenever we need it. For over 90 years, businesses like ours have trusted Grainger. Because, like family, Grainger's got our back. Call, click Grainger.com, or stop by to see for yourself. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Napa know-how.
Why should you get 2 5-quart jugs of Pennzoil Platinum Full Synthetic Motor Oil? Because at Napa, they're only $24.99 each when you buy 2, meaning you get more and save more, which is just sound economics. That's 2 5-quart jugs of Pennzoil Platinum, only $24.99 each. Quality parts, helpful people. That's Napa know-how.
Napa know-how.
General states pricing. Sales prices do not include applicable state, local taxes, or recycling fees. Limit 2 per customer while supplies last. Offer ends 9/30/19.
The Vargas family, legendary Memphis restaurateur, starting with Mr. Charlie and continuing today with his grandchildren.
Brett, it just dawned on me the other day that while Memphis is celebrating its bicentennial, the Rendezvous has been here well over 1/3 of Memphis's existence. Someone asked me if we remember the day the Rendezvous started, and I tell them no, because if we thought it was going to last this long, we'd have kept much better records. But we're not a place to rest on our laurels or reputation. We're always trying to add new things to make our customers' experience more enjoyable. Friday lunches have always been special because we give away our red beans and rice. But we are now adding a sausage sandwich. It's the same sausage we serve on our cheese and sausage plate, but it will be served lengthwise on the bun with beans and slaw on the side. We've also partnered with a company called Devillet out of Dyersburg to introduce a new sweet glazed mustard with Rendezvous seasoning in it. It will really go great with a sandwich. I still recommend adding slaw. My grandfather had a hot dog stand on Beale Street in 1916, and we've come full circle using his slaw on our hot dogs. Hope to see you this Friday at the Rendezvous.
In the alley in downtown Memphis.
Hey, you doing, people? And if it's a Chevy you're looking for, any new Chevy, Olive Branch is where you need to go. New 2020 Silverados and Blazers are at All-Star Chevrolet, ready for you to drive today. Traverse, Equinox, Impala, best new All-Star Chevy lineup ever. And most have 0 for 72 financing. So give these Chevys a test run. Roll the windows down. Enjoy the weather. Crank the music up. Pretend like the car is going to be yours, because it is going to be yours. And best of all, All-Star has the ABCs. A, the All-Star Challenge. Take any written offer from any Mid-South auto dealer to All-Star Chevrolet, and you can get a better deal, new or pre-owned, or they buy you a tank of gas. B, best buying experience, period. No wasting your time, they make it easy. And C, customer care. You're all in. Loaner cars, free oil changes. It's the All-Star family, and they're going to treat you like that. It's not South Haven, not the Pike, not Collierville. It's got to be Olive Branch. Find new roads to All-Star Chevrolet or go to allstarautogroup.com.
Got something you want to get off your chest?
You better have a backup plan.
Want to join the conversation?
Someone needs to tell him he has to grow up.
Join us on the First Bank phone lines at 360-8255 or the First Bank text line at 67129. Welcome back to Sports Time with Wolo and Stats. This hour of Sports Time is brought to you by DeSoto Auto Sales. Here once again are Dave Wolosian and Brad Norsworthy.
Welcome back in. Cruising along through our final hour, brought to you by Homer Skelton Hyundai in Olive Branch. 11 years in a row. It's going to be 12. They have been the number one certified pre-owned car dealer in Memphis. That is 11 years in a row of greatness and consistency. And really, that's what they're like with new cars, too. Honestly. You get assurance all over the place. There's a thing called Shopper Assurance, which is transparent pricing, flexible test drive. Take the car for a couple of days. Then there's the streamlined process when you decide to buy. You're in and you're out. And then the best, the 3-day worry-free exchange. If you have any buyer's remorse, 3 days, think about it, exchange the car. Nobody else does that. That's the Shopper Assurance. Then there's the Hyundai Assurance. Products are good. They give you 10-year, 100,000-mile limited powertrain warranty on all of their new automobiles. I love my Santa Fe, and I love that assurance. It's really worth your while. To get on Lamar, it becomes Highway 78 at State Line Road. The very first exit in Mississippi is Craft Road. Turn left. You'll understand the way car business should be done if you go to Homer Skelton Hyundai in Olive Branch. Joe, if you're patient, we'll get to you right at the end of this segment. But we start
Cleveland and the Jets.
Monday Night Greatness. I think that's what we should call this. We take, in the very first game 50 years ago on ABC Monday Night Football with the Cleveland Browns and the New York Jets.
And to highlight how late opening night was then, you know what date that was? September 21st.
Wow. Their first week is before the third week. Wow. Man, that's incredible. It really is.
And both of these teams, Big Four, Top Four, Mount Rushmore, whatever you want to call it, their best four players really highlights what wilderness both of these teams have been in, because it's a lot of yesteryear. Yeah. And probably when we do this year, none easier than number one for Cleveland.
None easier because he's the greatest.
Jimmy Brown.
You know, one of the greatest of all time. Jim Brown, 57-65, just 12,312 yards.
Retired when he was 29.
106 touchdowns, and retired while he was in incredible shape.
One of the great Jets retired a little early. He wasn't with the Jets anymore, but he may have had a year or two left in him. But for Cleveland, you roll through your Cleveland Browns.
Tight end Ozzie Newsome, 78-90, retired as the best tight end of all time. Statistically, when he left in 90, was 7,980 yards and 47 touchdowns. Paul Warfield, I loved watching him as a kid. He was like the first guy that I could remember was like Lynn Swann, became really that athletic, jumping jack, speedster, great hands.
Could take the 3-yard hitch, 80.
Yes. 64-69, 8-time Pro Bowl.
Played running back at Ohio State.
Receiver, yeah. And then there's the guy who was part of the league when it started, Otto Graham, the quarterback from 1946 on. He was a 5-time Pro Bowler, Hall of Famer in 1965.
He's in mine.
And he was great. You differ from me?
I've got 3 of the 4 you have. I don't have Paul Warfield. I do have Leroy Kelly, who, when we talk Favre to Rodgers and the transition from great player to, seamlessly to the next player, to go Jim Brown to Leroy Kelly.
Pretty good.
Was hard to stop. Now, the modern day guy, it was tough leaving Big Joe Thomas out. He was that great for the Browns just on some crummy teams.
Speaking of one back to the other, Brown to Kelly with the Browns. At Syracuse, it went Jim Brown to
Ernie Davis.
Mm-hmm. You talk about people who followed Jim Brown were pretty good.
And then right after Ernie Davis, I think it went Floyd Little, Larry Zonka.
I think that's right.
At Syracuse.
I don't know if Zonka was right after Floyd Little, but
in that stretch,
it was
and
close.
Ernie Davis won a Heisman, and Jim Brown didn't.
Right.
Drew, your Cleveland?
Well, my Cleveland and my Jets, a lot of narrowing down a list for me was actually doing research on who the heck some of these people were, because I have seen two people on both of my lists.
Otto Graham didn't come to mind, did it?
No, it didn't. Now, once I looked it up, I went, okay, yeah, I remember hearing something about Otto Graham, but for both of these franchises, I've never seen half of them play. And then all these top 10 greatest Browns or Jets players. So
that's their problem.
Take my list with what it is.
There's no recency bias, is there?
No, there isn't. So at number 4 for the Browns, I did put Joe Thomas in there just because of 11 years with Cleveland. That's pretty incredible.
And never miss a play.
Never miss a play, and one not really want to leave for some reason. But so I'll give him that. We'll put Ozzie Newsome on the list more for what he's done for my team as a general manager than anything. I'll put Otto Graham at number 2, and of course number 1, Jim Brown.
All right, Jets. I think it's obvious to me. Although a couple of the lists I read, he was not number 1 with the Jets. But I've got Joe Willie Namath.
I got Joe.
He was the first quarterback ever to break 4,000-yard pass barrier. How about that in 1967?
And that release,
and he won that Super Bowl. He was forever cemented. But Don Maynard was really the first face of the New York Jets. He started with them in 1960. He's my second guy. And he was the face of the team for 13 years.
He was, and was a great New York Giant before that.
Right. Curtis Martin was my third best
with you on
running
3
back.
for 3 so far.
He basically had a 4-yard average per game for his career. He led the NFL in attempts and yards in 2004, and he had 7 1,000-yard seasons. Now, we all know that a running back's longevity is about 2.3 years. This guy was one of the best for a lot longer than that and had 7 1,000-yard seasons. And then my fourth guy is Mark Gastineau, the defensive lineman who was known probably better for his obnoxious celebrations than anything else. But the guy had 107.5 sacks, which was 30 better than the second best guy on that team, which was Joe Klecko, who a lot of people put in the top 4. I think Gastineau was better than he was.
Marty Lyons, part of that defensive front for the Jets. Fourth for the Jets was tough. The first 3 was simple, easy for me. Fourth for me, I landed on Revis Island, Darrelle Revis, because he was the shutdown guy for a long time.
He was.
On some really bad teams. Your Jets?
My list is the exact same order as Brett. And for me, and I think a lot of people my generation, the first person you think of when you think of the New York Jets is Darrelle Revis, is Revis Island. And honestly, after that, just trying to think of who else I would put in kind of my generation of growing up watching football.
Wayne Corbett?
Well, they've been terrible.
Honestly, I would put, if I was doing a top 4 from just my time in football, Mark Sanchez would actually be in it.
Oh, my God.
I know, but that's how bad it's been for them. But he did go to 2 AFC championship games.
He did. But the Jets and Browns, highlighted by these older
Revis
names.
Island, it's more like Desert Island with the Jets if you go back.
It's a long way back.
Wow, that's for sure. Those are your Monday night greats. Joe, live, local on the First Bank phone line, 360-8255. Joe, it's your turn.
Hey, guys. Just the previous guy, you had the national guy, that he just it sparked me when he kind of disrespect, maybe not blatantly, but disrespected Temple a little bit, and Dave kind of stuck up for him. That's a really tough AAC team. It might be the toughest game the Tigers have left.
Scared to death of
Philly. Right. But just wanted to spark a bigger discussion on G5, P5, and especially UCF, because I know he brought that up and said he kind of roots against them. And we know going in the landscape, given the sport, not just P5, G5, but that there's, 85 to 90 scholarships as opposed to, let's just say 53 for the NFL number. Teams like Alabama can stack up a lot more depth, whereas, the first 22 guys, they'd still have an advantage, but it wouldn't be as vast. I was just going to comment on the last few years as far as group of 5 teams getting in the Year 6. or trying to elevate themselves like a Utah or a TCU. The consistent thing has been good play, like with Utah and TCU, and it's also been a fan base that doesn't annoy people. Because the two I wanted to juxtapose were Boise State and UCF. I think Boise State for years has had the respect of, many SEC, Big Ten, Pac-12 fan bases. And when they came here to Liberty Bowl in 04 and played Louisville, and I met a few of them, I was at that game. Respectful fan base that doesn't tout itself and pound their chest. UCF the last couple of years.
Yep. Joe, I think we're losing you.
Joe, my encounter with Boise State was far different than that. I'd never been around a more puffy group in my life than when I was around them before the Chick-fil-A kickoff classic in 2014. But they have earned it on the field. Here's what Temple needs to do. Going into that Memphis game, a battle of undefeateds. Temple remain undefeated, Memphis remain undefeated, and that will be a good game.
Well, Memphis has to beat Navy a week from Thursday, and then Louisiana Monroe. It sets it all up for that. And Temple has to win at Buffalo. They'll be the big favorite to that. And then they got to beat Georgia Tech and at East Carolina. I don't think East Carolina is that good. They got a good quarterback.
They'll be favored in all three of those.
They will be favored. That would be outstanding. That would be 2 5-0 teams facing one another.
It would be great for the league.
In Philly.
Did you see where Georgia Tech lost to the Citadel?
No. So they should beat Georgia Tech based on that.
And a real contrast changing the guard for Georgia Tech, going from Paul Johnson to Jeff Collins.
Yeah. Well, he's still sort of a little bit like the Chad Morris dilemma at Arkansas. You're working with guys from a whole different group, a different skill set for a different type of system. And you're right, except for they are in year number 1. We take the break. When we come back, we got a whole bunch of other things to touch base on. And, of course, we've got your crunch time still to come on this, the Monday edition of Sports Time with Wolo and Stats.
Sports 56 now has 2 FM homes. You can now find real sports talk on 96.1 as well as 87.7 on your FM dial.
All right, let's pull up over here and drop a line. Are your feet wet? My feet are wet. Here's the drain plug. You put the plug in the drain, right? It's on the dock.
There's a reason they say curse like a sailor. Many reasons. Progressive's boat insurance has you covered. Quote today at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
AC trouble? Make your first call your last call. Call Air Doctors of Memphis, 901-598-HVAC. Owner Matt Davis is a third-generation full-service air conditioning specialist. Air Doctors of Memphis services all major brands, and labor and parts are guaranteed 100%. Their yearly AC checkup is only $60, and 24-hour emergency service is billed at normal rates. Your comfort is their highest priority. Contact airdoctorsofmemphis.com or call 901-598-HVAC.
Frontier Western Store's world-famous boot showroom is waiting for you. With aisles and aisles of boots in one easy spot, you will find your next favorite pair at Frontier. Everyone loves Ariat boots, and Frontier has over 1,000 pair in that brand alone. Come grab a pair of rugged work boots like the Workhog, or discover an everyday classic in Ariat's Rambler. Tons of other brands as well: Rocky, Dan Post, Red Wing, Durango, Justin, Twisted X, and many more. Frontier constantly restocks and refreshes their lineup of boots, so you're certain to walk out of the store happy in your new comfortable footwear. They have a wide assortment of sizes available for men, women, and children. Work, dress, or play, Frontier's knowledgeable staff will cheerfully help you find the perfect fit. It's boots galore at Frontier Western Store, 5880 Goodman Road, Olive Branch, or on the web at frontierwesternstore.com. Family owned and operated, you know it, since 1967.
Welcome back to Sports Time with Wolo and Stats. This hour of Sports Time is brought to you by DeSoto Auto Sales. Here once again are Dave Wolosian and Brad Norsworthy.
Bruce Marshall was on fire, this weekend?
His favorite college game was Kansas State straight up. They won straight up. His favorite pro game was Bears Broncos under, and it was decidedly under.
Did he know that both quarterbacks would stink?
I think he was clued in on it.
I think he was too. Well, he's smart. He knows. He knows, like, if you're in Memphis and you're looking for clothes, really good clothes, the best place to go would be James Davis, filled with hot new deliveries for this fall heat. The selection of 5-pocket pants in every fabric and fit is just fantastic. They've got the denim. They've got cotton twill and brush cotton and wrinkle-free travel wool. And everyone has that two-way stretch that just moves with you no matter what you're doing. Oh, by the way, the brand new Stant cotton shirts are in. The new fall fabric is. I know you're probably tired of me harping on this, but these are the best fit shirts there are. Best I've ever seen. You know, they're the ones with 3 measurements, 9-day, start at $98. Perfect fit. Your collar fits like you wouldn't believe. And they've got a new showstopper coat. If you're tired of being at the football games the worst-looking guy, this coat starts at $695. It is a custom-made to measure. Oh, and by the way, those Paul Batenley suits, and they've got that stretch fabric that I love so much. 2 incredible suits, only $795. They've got, by the way, tuxedos. If you get into tuxedo season, why you keep renting and losing money? Get a perfectly fit custom tuxedo.
It's an investment.
From James Davis. It's a great investment and always the best service. Same-day alterations. This is the store for clothes for men in Memphis, hands down. James Davis Men's Store in the Laurelwood Shopping Center. Crunch time.
This is Geraldo. It is crunch time. You are looking live. It's crunch time. In your life, have you seen anything like that?
We'll take questions again for the student athletes at this time, please.
He's a professional. He's pretty classy for his age.
You know, crunch time, that's the frustrating part.
Little Penny could make some appearances this year.
Okay, I'm not huge into stats.
Has it always been this way?
It's crunch time, so I got a different mind state.
What's happening, big dog? How you doing?
Is this thing working?
Immediately when the buzzer sounds, he lets out this shriek.
He throw those ears forward, and he was in stroke mode.
This is stupid. It's obviously crunch time.
Time for Taco Bell Crunch Time. Taco Bell, home of the crispy tortilla chips, topped with a double portion of either seasoned beef or shredded chicken, plus refried beans, nacho cheese sauce, reduced fat sour cream, guacamole, and a 3-cheese blend. Nachos Bel Grande, heaping portion of chips, topped with ground beef, tomatoes, beans, nacho cheese sauce, and a dollop of sour cream. Taco Bell, home to great food you get on your way home real fast, and they bring you crunch time every day. I learned it yesterday afternoon, worst loss at New Busch Stadium. It was yesterday. Walked 3 in the 9th, grand slam, and that was after Jack Flaherty lost on Saturday. Bats are kind of quiet. Junior Fernandez was kind of bad. Mike Schilt kind of nervy. Dave, Cardinals never win another game. It's over.
Well, that's what I learned. I learned the Cardinals are going to have to take on Washington's best. Strasburg, Corbin, Scherzer, that lead down to 2.
Sounds like a law firm that get in your pocket, doesn't it?
The Cubs are going out of their mind, averaging over 15 runs per game against the Pirates. But not such good news, which I'll get to in a second. But, you know, we got a battle. It's what Tim Doolin said from the get-go.
Down to the end.
This will come down to that final series.
4 this week in Wrigley, 3 next weekend in Busch Stadium. What is it you could have done without today?
Well, I could have done without this news. Riz in a boot. At least 5 to 7 days, then evaluation. He turned his ankle charging a bunt.
Well, they have had the injuries, but so has Milwaukee, but sometimes it motivates the team.
Yeah, I hope so.
Well, this is when Ben Zobrist, the Swiss Army knife,
this is where
comes in.
He needs to be. This is where he can help salvage the season where he's not been any help. Also, I learned this today, and I love this. Guess who's coming back to Memphis for a short visit for a Q&A? October the 5th, mark it down at Colonial Country Club. The great Al Geiberger is coming
Mr. 59,
for a
welcome
visit.
home.
Yes.
That is very nice. I could have done without. You know how close Florida AD Scott Strickland was to being forced into hiring either Chip Kelly or Scott Frost. Reportedly, either could have had it if they had just sent any sign to him.
Well, Scott Frost still would have been a good pick.
Chip
Chip
Kelly.
Kelly.
But Dan Mullen's shown he can really coach. A lot of coaches would be 1-2 at this point, and Dan Mullen's 3-0. He can coach. Keeping a close eye on what tonight?
Cubs and the Reds, and I'm guessing that game will be on Fox Sports Midwest, which we half the time get, so we could get that game.
Cardinals be on Midwest.
Really like to see it. Well, sometimes we do get Cincinnati, but you're right. It probably won't get it that way. And the Cardinals, of course, and the Nationals. So there's two big baseball games.
Playoff
that are out
atmosphere
there.
everywhere.
And we got Monday Night Football, as we mentioned, the Browns and the Jets, the very first game they had 50 years ago.
I'm going to keep a close eye on that. 50 years of Monday Night Football. It's been a staple, hadn't it? Truly has been, history making. The night that Howard Cosell announced to the world the death of John Lennon was a newsman at his best. That first crew was Keith Jackson, Howard Cosell, and Dandy Don, and now tonight it'll be the Jets and the Browns again. You think they should bring in Joe Willie into the booth a little while? He was part of the Monday night crew for a while.
Well, I remember he was a sideline interview with Susie Colbert.
But
that
he was
didn't
part
work
of the
out
announce
so well.
team for
I
a
don't
while.
Really.
Yeah,
he was.
Yeah,
I don't remember him.
He wasn't very good. Before Monday Night Football, they had some games, but not a regular package. But since 1970, the regular Monday night package. Tonight it'll be Baker Mayfield against Jeff Simeon. In 1970, the two starting quarterbacks, Joe Namath against Bill Nelson. Bill Nelson. With an E, N-E-L-S-E-N, Bill Nelson. Tonight in St. Louis, it'll be Dakota Hudson's biggest start as a pro. He needs to be dynamite. Cole Hamels at Wrigley for the Cubs. We got pennant race drama everywhere. It's for keeps. I mean, the playoffs have started, haven't they?
This is it. The last 13 games. Isn't that what it is? We're down to our final 13.
Also, this from college football. 35 teams remain undefeated.
Yeah.
And the Tigers and Navy, they will be two of them next Thursday night.
It is an interesting breakdown. The ACC's got 3. The Big 12's got 5. The Big 10's got 5.
The Big 10's got 6.
6. Oh, yeah, you're right. Big 12's got 4. Pac-12, I mean, has 4. SEC's got 5. AAC's got 5.
Mm-hmm. Mountain West with 4.
The WAC with none.
Sun Belt with 1.
And, of course, Notre Dame, the last of the independents, because Army did not get in there. This portion of the show brought to you by Eflin Insurance. That's Matt Eflin, young guy. Right when he got out of college, he got right in the business. 20 years now of experience in this local market, and he's got several offices in the area, but the main one is at 8099 Stage Hills Boulevard in Bartlett. And one of the reasons why I think he's been so successful in these 20 years is this one-on-one approach that he has. He evaluates each individual and whatever insurance needs they may have. And that could be personal insurance. It could be business insurance. He specializes in all types. And he sits you down and he chats with you. And he's very curious about, well, what are you looking for? What is most important for you to protect? And once he gets that all together, then he figures out exactly what's out there, collaborates with you, and then you are protected. For the quotes and that personalized service I'm talking about, it's easy. Call 757-2315. 757-2315. That's the Eflin Insurance Group. Well, we got to thank our friends today who participated, including David Cobb, John Thompson down in Atlanta, and Barrett Jones, who will be working the Florida and the Tennessee football game. And tomorrow, the usual, Jeff Morse, back from his vacations. Well, Bo Marchant,
Brent Beard,
and Steve Earhart.
Busy Tuesday.
It will, as always, be a busy, busy Tuesday. It does seem
Gabe
odd.
Kuhn?
Gabe Kuhn will be with us. There is no Tiger football game this week, but you're right. Well, it'll set the stage now. We'll have plenty of time to talk. Neither Navy nor Memphis can lose before they play. They will both be undefeated because neither team will play this week. So we look forward to really chatting about that for the next week and a half or so. That'll do it for us, for Drew, and for Stats. I'm Wolo. Same time, same place. tomorrow afternoon. Have a good night, everybody.
Hey, Tiger fans, this is John Stacy of the Blue and Gray Show. You can hear Drew Barrett and I talk Tigers with Tigers every Sunday at 5 right here on Sports 56, 96.1, and 87.7. Drew, who do we got in the studio with us this week?
This week will be our family show as we have former Tigers Ray and Sam Kraft in studio with John and I as we look towards Navy and talk the family tradition of Tiger football.
Thanks, Drew. We'll be here Sunday on Sports 56, 96.1, and 87.7. The Blue and Gray Show, where we talk Tigers with Tigers.
At First Bank Mortgage, their core purpose is to help you get to a better place. That better place may be a lower monthly payment, that vacation you thought was impossible, or getting into a home with a fenced backyard where your kids can play. To get into your better place, First Bank Mortgage makes decisions right here at home. Dedicated to helping you get to your better place, First Bank Mortgage. Call Daniel Mooney at 901-462-0145 today. NMLS 741022. Equal housing lender.
All right, let's pull up over here and drop a line. Are your feet wet? My feet are wet. Here's the drain plug. You put the plug in the drain, right? It's on the dock.
There's a reason they say curse like a sailor. Many reasons. Progressive's boat insurance has you covered. Quote today at progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
Are you tired of all the clouds and bad weather? Rain brings pollutants that can wreak havoc on your car's finish, but there is someone who can help. Car Wash USA Express has introduced their most advanced car wash yet with the exclusive Polymer Pro Wash, creating a stronger, more consistent protective sealant for your car's finish. Polymer Pro can only be found at Car Wash USA Express, where attendants are always on duty to keep you and your vehicle safe. For more information and locations, visit carwashusaexpress.com. Car Wash USA Express, because a dirty car is a dirty shame.
We are Sports 56 WHBQ Memphis, WIVG-FM Tunica Memphis, and WPG-FLP Memphis. Flynn Broadcasting Stations.
Hey, Tiger fans, this is John Stacy of the Blue and Gray Show. You can hear Drew Barrett and I talk Tigers with Tigers every Sunday at 5 right here on Sports 56, 96.1, and 87.7. Drew, who do we got in the studio with us this week?
This week will be our family show as we have former Tigers Ray and Sam Kraft in studio with John and I as we look towards Navy and talk the family tradition of Tiger football.
Thanks, Drew. We'll be here Sunday on Sports 56, 96.1, and 87.7. The Blue and Gray Show, where we talk Tigers with Tigers.
At First Bank Mortgage, their core purpose is to help you get to a better place. That better place may be a lower monthly payment, that vacation you thought was impossible, or getting into a home with a fenced backyard where your kids can play. To get into your better place, First Bank Mortgage makes decisions right here at home. Dedicated to helping you get to your better place, First Bank Mortgage. Call Daniel Mooney at 901-462-0145 today. NMLS 741022. Equal housing lender.
Your home for the Ole Miss Rebels. Sports 56 WHBQ Memphis, WIVG Tunica Memphis, and WPGFLP Memphis. Flynn Broadcasting Stations.
One thing I've learned over the years, no matter what you're buying, the smart thing to do is to buy from someone who sells quality products, delivers great personal service, and knows their business inside and out because they have over 2 decades of experience. When you're talking about insurance, it's more important than ever because you're counting on your agent to come up with a policy that's exactly what you need from a company you can absolutely depend on, be there when you need him, and save money all at the same time. When you deal with William Glass or any of their staff at the Glass Group, you're not only in good hands, you'll find out that you can put the money a lot of insurance companies spend on advertising on the World Series or college football or basketball in your pocket while you enjoy first-rate coverage on your home, auto, and business with things like rate lock on your car. So you're not canceled for a wreck or a speeding ticket. Guaranteed replacement on your home and contents, earthquake coverage, and outstanding rates for business on workman's comp, commercial auto, and any other business need you may have. Worried about mayhem? Call William Glass at the Glass Group, 843-1190. They'll handle it for you. 843-1190. When it comes to your pet, you want nothing but the best in boarding, daycare, and grooming, and we say thank you, Memphis, for voting Barks and Recreation #1 in Best Pet Grooming in this year's Memphis Most competition. We're also #1 in boarding with indoor-outdoor kennels so your family member can go in and out as they please, while they're being cared for by the best staff in Memphis, one that includes overnight staffing to ensure the safety and happiness of your pet 24 hours a day. And we're #1 in daycare with indoor and outdoor play areas, individual and group playtime, 4 walks a day, and small play groups to make sure that your pet gets the individual attention they deserve. Make your reservations now at barksdaycare.com or call us at 901-509-0909. Barks and Recreation, 965 Ruddock Cove, between Bud Davis Cadillac and the Blue Plate Cafe in East Memphis. Did you know that paying a traffic ticket is an admission of guilt? It is, and it could result in higher insurance rates and add points to your driving record, which could result in your license being suspended or even revoked. It's amazing how simple things can turn into major problems, and it's why no matter what legal problem you may have, you need to know exactly what your rights and your options are. You need an attorney who is only interested in one thing, fighting for you, and I've got one for you, Chelsea Rainey. You can call her for a free, convenient phone consultation at 901-647-4861. Traffic tickets, driving while impaired, drug charges, misdemeanors, divorce. If you live in the Metro Memphis area and you've been accused of a crime, you need to speak to attorney Chelsea Rainey about your options and your legal rights. Chelsea Rainey is dedicated to advocating and protecting your rights. Your initial consultation is free, and attorney Chelsea Rainey is always on call, always available at 647-4861. That's 647-4861. There are 2 or 3 things in life that you simply can't live without if you live in the Mid-South. One of them is air conditioning. We take it for granted, never think about it, till it stops working, and then when you're miserable, you make the mistake of calling the big name company and you pay way more than you should, or you call somebody who shouldn't be working on your lawnmower, much less something as important and complex as your HVAC system. When you need air conditioning or heating help, make the smart call to Dunn Heating and Air Conditioning at 494-9040. Brooke Dunn takes pride in his work. He'll treat you fairly, he knows his business, and he comes with the complete backing of the old Rain Man as he's about to become my son-in-law. And University of Memphis supporters will undoubtedly remember his grandfather, Coach Al Brown. Dunn Heating and Air Conditioning, 494-9040. That's 494-9040.
You finally found it, the vehicle of your dreams. You know it's got everything you want, you just don't know the price. Until now, shop one price pre-owned vehicles today at AutoNation Ford Wolf Chase. Now, every pre-owned vehicle is clearly marked with our lowest price, guaranteed. That means no negotiations, no pressure, just one low price. And every certified AutoNation pre-owned vehicle is inspected in 125 different places, so there's no worries. Plus, your purchase is protected with a money-back guarantee for 5 days or 250 miles, whichever comes first. And as America's largest automotive retailer, you can shop one-price pre-owned vehicles from over 250 stores coast to coast. That's something you can count on. Shop over 20,000 one-price pre-owned vehicles at AutoNation.com or visit AutoNation Ford Wolf Chase. Drive pink, drive safe, drive now. AutoNation. Certain terms, conditions, and restrictions may apply. See store for complete details.
Southern Sports Report is being brought to you today in part by Gateway Tire and Service Centers, where there's always one thing you can count on. We go the distance for you. So before you hit the road for a trip across country or just across town, drop by any one of our 12 Memphis area locations. Whether it's tires or auto repair, you can always count on one thing. At Gateway Tire and Service Center, we go the distance for you.
Memphis Sports Radio welcomes you to the following presentation of Southern Sports Report.
The following program contains frank and honest commentary on sports. Listener discretion is advised.
Welcome back to Gateway Tire and Service Center's Southern Sports Report with John Rainey, the